rocking the weekend box office with all the latest news, movies and the magic. We bring it all to you on the Willis Grittier channel every Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, whichever day Charles deems to be okay. With Charles, Lindsay, and Gray, we set the scene on Willis Grittier's channel where the silver screen gleams. Ring the bell to help you stay tuned and to find out which day Charles will choose. Where subtext is clear, no anger within. Tune in to Showbiz on Willis Grittier's channel for the win.
I think we need to make another new version of that where it's like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, just to be safe. But for the most part, I think it's pretty covered here.
But I deem today to be sufficient.
It's covered.
Is that how we need to start each one of these? Now it's like, we deem today. Hello, everybody, and welcome to, October 13th, 2024, Show Business, baby. We're here to talk about movies and box office and spooky, spooky clowns. My name is Lindsay. Check me out on my 2 cents of nonsense. I got a nifty thing. Boom, look at all that info right there. Oh, it's beautiful. And here, I'll even put my face down there to make it easier to associate with me. And to the man I just switched places with, Charles. Say hi.
Hi. You know, I've never really properly noticed this in the intro, but when the calendar thing with the emojis, Tuesday's just going through some shit. That, like,
Yeah.
Because he's like rolling his eyes back into his head. Like, I never really properly took notice of that, but I was like, Jesus, like that on a Tuesday? Man. Sorry.
Well, for some people, Tuesday is Thursday or Friday. It just depends on what your work schedule is.
Yeah. People who work weekends, Tuesdays, Friday. I don't know.
But to the genius who made that video, Mr. Gray.
Genius is a little too charitable, but hey, how's it going? I'm Gray.
Howdy.
Hey.
You are Gray. And in the chat, who do we have? We got a few people already so far today. We got Mr. Graveyard Key with a hey, everyone. Hey to you too, buddy. And then we got Adam Buzzkirk. If I mispronounced that, I apologize. Marcy, always good to see Marcy. And then Sean Sheridan, who watched me talk about Star Trek yesterday. What's up, buddy? Nice to see you 2 days in a row. And just jumping in right at the last time, Alex Dothright. Again, if I mispronounce it, you can yell at me in the chat. I'm a bad person. But yeah, welcome. Let's have some fun, guys.
Hey, let's have fun indeed.
Let's have a terrifyingly fun time. Is that a clean transition, or is that rough?
Is anything clean?
Yeah.
Especially with Terrifier in theaters. I felt so dirty coming out of that movie. But getting specific with those movies. Oh, no,
nope.
That one. Nope. Yeah, you see, I held on to it just in case. It bit me in the keister.
I told you not to keep it.
No, you did. This is why you're the master and I am the apprentice. But yeah, October 11th to the 13th. These are estimates because we are going on a Sunday. We don't have hard figures just yet, but it's very unlikely we're going to see massive swings either direction.
Although it should be stipulated that 3 and 4 might swap.
This is true. Between 7.5 and 7.4, it's very possible. Yeah. That's alarmingly close, actually, especially because Beetlejuice is on streaming this week, and it's still pulled in $7.5 million.
I think there's only like a $50,000 difference, to be honest with you.
I think you're right. I honestly do.
Yikes.
Yeah, no. But then,
had significantly better legs. Just wow.
Yeah, when did Beetlejuice come out? Was it the start of September or was it the end of August? I forgot.
It had to be a month ago now because it's on streaming, and it did very well its opening weekend. So it had to be at least, I want to say September 6th?
September 6th.
September 4th?
September 11th. Sorry. A little morbid joke. So the big story of the week, Terrifier 3, the super indie gore fest grindhouse 80s throwback movie, pulls in $18 million on the back of, what was it, 4 million, 5 million, something like that.
All of the above.
Yeah, no, it's already insanely profitable in its first week, which is just super cool for little tiny horror movies, man. Follow your dreams, guys. You got an idea in your heart, go and make it. But then we got Piece by Piece in fourth place with 4 million, which is pretty good. I want to see this. Did anybody see this?
No.
I think we all dropped the ball on this one.
What?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with
Not
that
dropped
one.
the ball. I'm just kidding.
That's Pharrell Williams's Lego animated.
Jesus, we were just talking about it and I still forgot about it. Yeah, so I've mistaken what this movie is like 5 different times now. I thought it was just a musical, like a Lego movie, which sounds kind of fun, but it's like a weird Pharrell Williams biopic in Legos, and it kind of takes you through synesthesia through Legos.
Interesting.
I don't know. I'm glad that they got $4 million out of that, but interesting choice for that. I'm sure I'll see it one day.
I mean, there's something about that Lego animation that's weirdly compelling. Like you'd think, like you describe it to someone and you'd think it'd be like even more like annoying stop motion, but something about it just kind of works. Maybe that's just me though.
So there was 2 stats you had on there. The Terrifier 2 was considered a success, and it opened back one. It opened to $800,000 and ended up making something like $9 million, which was a ridiculous amount on top of its budget. Joker Folie à Deux last Friday to this Friday was a 90% drop. And it's gonna fall hard. It will not be in the top 5 next week.
And I think there's 2 more stats you kind of need to put out there. It's estimated that for Joker to break even, they need like 450 million. And
Wow.
Terrifier was made, or Terrifier 3, excuse me, is made on an estimated $2 million budget. So they're well over their budget.
The 2 clown
10
movies are
times the
inverses of one
budget.
each other. Yeah.
Incredible inverses.
Joker is making a percentage of its budget, and Terrifier 3 is quintupled its budget already.
Yep.
So yeah,
That's
a tale
amazing.
of 2 clowns.
It really is. It's the real Folly of Ado, I guess you could say almost.
You
I was going to
could.
milk that silence,
did.
but
I guess some have said that.
the words have been uttered.
Yeah.
But we all did see Terrifier, I believe.
Yes.
Yes. I did a marathon myself. It was a lot of clowns this week, but
How many bathroom
Yeah.
breaks did you need?
just a few. There were a couple at my place, and then the fun thing of seeing the other one in the cinema. I hadn't had that pleasure, so yeah, that was really fun. So I'm thinking 3 in total, but I'm not sure.
That's impressive for an entire week. Like, goddamn, man. Like, you might want to see a
Yeah,
doctor, but
yeah.
still, like,
Totally wasn't the same day. It was over the week.
but okay, so I think you've done. So I think you've actually seen more of this franchise than Charles has, correct? Because
That's
you haven't
accurate.
seen Ninth Circle, or what's the other one?
Yeah, so Ninth Circle was the original short film like 20 years ago, but that's basically used in All Hallows Eve as one of the segments in the thing. So if you've seen that one, you've pretty much seen Ninth Circle. Like there's a few scenes that are kind of cut out of it, but yeah, it's kind of interesting. So he was able to use kind of his short film inside of his feature-length one, which is kind of fun. And then, that clown was so popular that he deserved his own franchise. And wow, I gotta say, the 19 or estimated whatever, that's almost 10 times the budget of this. I think the people have spoken that they enjoy Art the Clown, even on his 5th outing.
And for the sake of big studios, right on. Just get wrecked, losers. Like seriously, 20 million isn't that big a deal, but when your budget is 2, it's a big deal.
And what they were kind of talking that about the original Joker, where it's like I can't remember if it was 40 or 50 million was the original budget, but they were calling that kind of low budget, and the fact that it made 1.5 is crazy. But I can't see how you'd want to like quadruple or quintuple the budget for that. Like,
say it with me. They don't learn their lesson.
But I mean, like if you look at the Terrifier franchise, like they're just steadily upping it every single time. I'm not saying that this is going to be perpetual or anything like that, but you can tell the buzz is there.
To be fair to Warner, when when your budget is 40 million and you pull in 1.5 billion, 250 million, at that rate, you're expecting a quarter of your first film's gross, and you're still falling short. Like that's on you.
I don't know how the math works, but I've seen it in a couple different places. They're estimated at 450 million to break even, and it's like, what is that extra 250 million? I have no idea. I know it's been advertised to hell, but man, yeah. It's going to go down as a huge financial failure. But that's not the only thing that's important about movies. I love all those ones that kind of got discovered later. And as one who enjoyed that flick, I hope a lot of people can kind of get past this negative review and kind of look at the film for what it is. I really definitely be unlike everybody else.
Craig, can you just do me a favor and look at that logo to the right of your head there? We're talking about the money end.
Fair enough. And financially, nobody's going to argue it's successful. Like, that is a huge bomb, probably the worst of the year.
Well, I mean, how many times? I mean, the thing we've been singing its praises for all year, it's just forgotten already. It's not even out on Blu-ray yet. It's already Strange Darling Who. It's just not fair.
Well,
do you guys want some figures though that'll make these Joker numbers look even weirder? Like, just out of curiosity.
Yes, weirder or worse?
Both, honestly. So I did a little bit of homework this week, and I should have gotten visual aids for this. I apologize.
That's on me, actually.
No, but I mean, I should have forwarded it to you. But basically, I looked at recent billion-dollar movies, mostly superheroes, with the exception of one. I think they're all superheroes, actually. Yeah. That made $1 billion, but then just fell off the face of the earth, just right off a cliff with their sequels. And also just other like superhero movies that are just big budget movies that were considered massive flops that we can kind of compare and contrast a little bit with Joker here, because a lot of people are saying this is one of the biggest bombs in superhero history. Let's look at the hard numbers and see what that says. Let's start with Aquaman. I don't think anyone was ready for Aquaman to make $1.15 billion. Like, that was the first DC movie to do that since The Dark Knight Rises, right?
Is that before or after COVID?
Before. That was 2019.
Okay.
So yeah, we are talking about a different world. That's true. But before that,
exactly where Justice League fell in there, and then there was also like Wonder Woman, which were also, I don't know, kind of big hits. I know all three of those kind of dropped around the same time, but I'm blanking with my time frame right now.
Yeah, it's all like 2016 to like 2019, and they all, with the exception of Aquaman, came in around like the $600 to $800 million range in terms of money, and then Aquaman just took off with the over $1 billion. And just to also throw that out there too, just for fun, Aquaman, because this is fascinating, had a 23.2% drop first weekend to second weekend. Now it was released right before Christmas, so that's kind of a nebulous window, like where exactly the weekend is and stuff. So maybe that's why it's only 23.2%, but that's still impressive. Like a 50% drop is
hinting
good.
That Joker Folie à Deux might be record breaking in certain ways, like a 90% drop second week.
Is it officially 90%? Do we have that yet?
To be fair, it's Friday to Friday. It's only Friday.
Oh, okay.
Last week and Friday this week.
Okay. So I guess we'll have to wait for the specific numbers.
Yeah.
But it is still,
I think
as of
right now, with the estimates, it's 83% weekend to weekend.
83%.
Ooh. Sorry, I saw 87 earlier, so that's why I bumped it to 90. But my bad.
I was going to be polite and say 80, but I guess we'll split the difference and call it 85.
Oh, I'm not polite.
No, 83 sounds right. I feel like I saw that figure in a couple of different places.
Well, what if nobody goes? I mean, I wouldn't be shocked. I would put $1 on it that Beetlejuice is above Joker Folie à Deux as of Monday night.
Oh, probably. I think Monday morning, I'm pretty sure when
the numbers are in, I think Beetlejuice will be ahead of Joker, and that would be shocking, because guess what? If you're sitting at home watching us, you can watch Beetlejuice right now too, and pay for it. But only if you pay for it.
That's true. Or if your uncle has it, but we don't need to get into that.
That has VOD service. You definitely.
That's true. But how do you guys think Aquaman 2 did? Just out of curiosity. So it did not
That
pull
was
a billion.
controversy. Yeah, I know it's a significant drop, but it did way better than I thought it would. I know there was the whole like Amber Heard thing where it got edited like 3 different times to choose the amount of Amber Heard that will be in the movie. I can't remember. Didn't it almost make like, I want to say it was in the 4s somewhere?
439. Very good.
It seems surprising to me. It seems like it should have been lower. That's the only reason why I remember is like, what? I thought it was like 2 something.
Is 439 worldwide or
yes, worldwide.
Okay.
And second weekend, it had a 34% drop. So pretty good. These Aquaman movies kind of hold on to their money. But also, funnily enough, if you look at each weekend for Aquaman 2, it didn't do so. It continued. So Joker made $7.4 million this weekend. Aquaman didn't make less than that until its 4th weekend. Aquaman 2, the one that was a massive flop, the big legendary flop. 4th weekend is when it made less than Joker. Then you got Captain Marvel, similar thing, $153 million opening, $1.1 billion total, 55% drop to second weekend. And then you got the Marvels from 151 opening to 46. Massive, horrible difference between the two of them. But that's still better than what Joker did. And you see that trend kind of continue on with the Marvels did have a massive second weekend drop of 78%, but it also it made more second weekend than Joker did. It didn't drop.
It's relative. It's relative.
Yeah.
I mean, 37 million. You're starting from a lower perspective, regardless. That's why the percentage
also,
is
there
important.
there was that kind of I don't know what you want to call it, but that kind of lie that they kind of marketed the first Marvel now I'm forgetting Captain Marvel on, where they basically said like, you're not going to understand Endgame if you don't watch Captain Marvel. And I know I felt weird after that happened. It's like, what the hell? Like, none of this, it didn't matter. Like, you lied to me. So I wasn't like dying to see the second one, and I think a lot of people just completely didn't see it and they cited that as their reason. But I don't know, it was better than I thought. I enjoyed the second way better than the first. It should have been even out those two numbers, and that seems right for that movie series. But
that's funny. No, I did want to see the Marvels. It's been a weird year. So
if you're a fan of the Beastie Boys and Double Dutch, man, this has the ultimate scene for you.
I mean, wait, Double Dutch, like the jump rope thing?
Oh yeah.
I am fascinated now.
It's a training montage, including jump ropes.
Sure. Okay, a couple other movies just to throw in there. I'll try and streamline this really quickly. The Flash, legendary failure, 72% drop in its second weekend, and it didn't go below Joker's second weekend until its 4th weekend.
What was Flash's opening weekend though?
55.
Okay, so it's $18 million higher than Joker. So
that trend just continues. Go ahead, Greg. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I know you said you were going to rapid fire these, and then I'm just jumping in to slow everything down. So that one I remember getting like universally panned as well, and like just hearing like how horrible it is, all the critics and everything. Do you think that that's what made this huge 90% drop? Like, I heard a whole bunch of people walking out, and I heard a whole bunch of people not or like trying to cancel their tickets and stuff for Joker 2. I'm assuming that's because of word of mouth and like the critics, but it feels like that was there for the Flash, right? So I don't know. Am I wrong? Was it just my world that seemed like both of them were saying like, this is the worst movie ever? Don't see this.
I think the Flash was DOA. I think the Flash, like, for how long was it? Like, is Ezra
55 million opening weekend, like, for being DOA? I'd take that.
Well, yes,
that's a good. I agree. DOA, true. I mean, like, it took a decade to make the movie, so that 55 million isn't going very far.
Fair enough.
Paying bills
and it's not financially a success either. There's that whole like double the budget and then some to actually break even. Usually,
you have Michael Keaton back as Batman, and it's still like, don't care.
Yeah.
Don't care.
Yeah. Well, also George Clooney back as Batman. That should have put some butts in seats, right?
Yeah, you got to see Nicolas Cage as a Superman at some point, or a fabled Nicolas Cage Superman in there too.
CGI Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think part of the backlash to Joker 2 is, I mean, a lot of knee-jerk reactions, especially on the internet. A lot of the people with the loud voices are saying that this movie is, insulting fans of the first one and basically an FU to them. So
Well, it's insulting to the people that misread the first movie, which is part of why I love it. Like, if anything, that's a redeeming quality for me.
All right, so is it misread or was it ambiguous? And now the second one's like, you know what? Fuck you. This we're making the call right now. This is actually what.
That's fair.
I don't think that they're putting that fuck you in there. I think that you're putting that fuck you in there. That they're just saying like, yes, this was ambiguous, and now we're choosing a journey. We're choosing this path. I'm just saying, like, I don't view it as a fuck you, where I interpreted the first one differently, and then I had to recontextualize it once I saw the second one. But I don't know that he hates that audience. People are definitely reading it that way. No, that's how everyone's saying it.
What I was implying was that the allure of the first one was like, ooh, it could be this, it could be this, it could be that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, this one's like, no, this is what happened, and that kind of takes some of the
it wasn't meant to have a sequel. Like, I don't think anybody was crying for it. But man, I love the journey that they went on. But yeah, I could see how everybody who interpreted it a little bit differently.
Right. So excuse me for saying fuck you, Gray. What I meant was, if you had some sort of, I think it's A, this person thinks it's B, and that person thinks it's C. This movie kind of says actually it's C. So A and B, you're wrong. Or
I think a lot of movies, if they got a sequel, would do that. For me, like I think we mentioned Barbie last week, but I think why I love that is the ambiguity of that one, and I can interpret it very much differently than how I've seen the internet interpret it. But man, if they do a sequel, I think they're gonna have to choose a lane, and it might make me appreciate it less, which would suck. But
watch they don't choose a lane. No, that'd be incredible. Like, they continue to just toe the line somehow.
Just make more lanes.
More lanes. But yeah, no. Basically, the trend just continues like that. You look at the stats for another movie that was legendary. This had a bigger fall the second weekend, and the other movies took forever to get even near the range.
That's where the percentages are important, because like if one movie makes 100 and another makes 30, the percentages is where, like, relatively speaking, how big is the fall? Like Beetlejuice, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
It only dropped like 37%, and it's available at home right now,
which is insane.
You're like, yeah, I'll still go. What?
It's honestly kind of a fun movie experience. I saw it twice, and both times, like, the audience at various points would kind of get into it, and there's a benefit to seeing it with the audience. I think I still don't know if I love the movie, but it is fun. Did you
have any politicians perform any sexual acts in the crowd with you?
Wait, what?
It's a terrible Lauren Boebert reference.
I'm so confused.
She at the Beetlejuice play, she
I
haven't heard Legend of the Boeberts.
I apologize.
That was Beetlejuice. You're absolutely right. God, what a moment in American politics that was.
No, forget I said it. It's my fault. I apologize. Please move on.
We were just talking about Beetlejuice.
Yeah, we're just talking about Beetlejuice. And a guy saying Beetlejuice. That was one of the worst jokes I've ever made. But yeah. So, that's fair. But Joker, it sucked. Should we talk about a movie that sucked less and was kind of fun?
If you're talking about Saturday night.
Well, I mean, just like I don't feel like you. We got great kind of talking about Terrifier a little bit, but do you have any thoughts you want to throw on Terrifier 3? Or
we can certainly go into it and throw up some sort of a spoiler thing, but we can ease into it because.
Wait, I guess so. Yeah, well, should we talk about Saturday Night first? And maybe that would be a good idea, so that we can get spoilers going later for Terrifier.
Yeah, that's probably the better way to do it. Yeah, Saturday Night. I think it's currently 7th with 3.4 million.
That's not bad.
it's doing
It's not
worse
incredible,
per
but-
screen than Joker is. So Joker
Oh,
can
is it?
claim to be
Oh,
Joker's 1.7K per screen Saturday night is 1.4K per screen.
wow.
So
Hmm.
whatever that means. So Lindsay, you saw this Thursday night, Friday?
Wednesday or Thursday, one of the two.
Okay.
I don't quite remember. It was kind of an impulse. Oh no, I did see it Thursday. I saw it mid afternoon Thursday. I got kind of an early screening at like 3:30 or something like that.
So you enjoyed it?
I
Question
did.
mark?
It's a flawed film. And I have a feeling some of those flaws will rear their head a little bit more if I were to give it a second glance. But there's something about capturing the
It's really fun that somehow it's lagging on him while he was trying to say chaos. I love that.
Can you guys not hear me? Am I gone? Oh no.
You're
Am I
frozen.
still here?
It lagged and it just was chaos that you were saying literally that word for like a 10-second stretch. It was kind of awesome. But
Was it
yeah,
just
you're back now. Sorry, you were
chaos?
saying there's something about the chaos. Yep, exactly.
Well, just in the same way that the bear captured the chaos of in a kitchen so well that like I wasn't breathing while I was watching that one episode in season 1. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Like there's something like
Yes.
capturing that chaos of leading up to curtain or as the curtain is going up that is just so magical to me. Like I've been in some shows that we were just like panicking, like people were like the actors were on the verge of just leaving, and then the moment the
Yeah.
curtain goes up, it's perfect. And
Can I ask you, do you
Oh, yeah.
get that same feeling from something in real time like 24 or something?
Like you mean like the series 24?
Yeah, like I'm trying to think of like the most iconic like real time thing because that's the other like thing about this is it's 90
Yes.
minutes in real time.
It is.
Different. production.
With 24, yes and no. I did like whatever season it was of 24, the second, third, or fourth, something like that I started watching, and I watched for like 2
Is the
seasons.
cougar
I was like,
in the
this
mountain?
is cool. I don't remember. Like,
Chasing a dog.
I remember there's like a big guy and like the headquarters is getting like nerve gas bombed or whatever, and the big guy like walks out. And he doesn't realize that everyone needs to be in quarantine, so everyone watches him die horribly. It's a thing that I remember from that show.
Kiefer Sutherland never gets a bite to eat or go to the
Never.
bathroom.
Never. Man's a beast.
Remember the daughter at all? Come on.
But I would kind of put it on par with like Seinfeld when like the times that they kind of played with, like there's like the Chinese, not in terms of like comedic stylings or anything like that, but in terms of like being like a pseudo bottle, kind of capturing like a moment in time of like an actual like real like 30 minutes or 90 minutes in this movie. I liked it. I think it's an interesting gimmick. I think there's a reason we don't see it very often because it's very hard to pull off. But I think they pulled it off pretty well here, mostly. I will say the movie wasn't as funny as I expected it to be, but the moments that were funny were freaking hilarious. I was cracking up. Like every Jim Henson scene had me going. The guy playing Jim Henson was great. George Carlin. He had a couple of moments that really had me going. Not a lot. I feel like they should have used Carlin a little bit differently, but like there's like one moment where someone's like trying to go into his dressing room and he just slams the door on them and we don't even see it. Like, yeah, that's Carlin.
That's 1994 Carlin, not 1975 Carlin.
Oh, that's fair. I do enjoy Carlin, but I don't know like the
Yeah, I'm sorry.
like this.
I have way too much investment into that human being to accept what they were putting on that screen.
100%. And this is the other thing I need to say. Like, I do know like a lot of the cast members from the original. Not personally. Like I know Chevy Chase. I know Dan Aykroyd, and so on and so forth. But like beyond them, I didn't really know a lot of the other cast members so well.
That's a
That didn't
problem
really-
to me.
It didn't really stop me from enjoying the movie.
All right,
and
so
John
wait,
Belushi.
wait.
Obviously, I know John Belushi too.
What if you didn't,
John
though?
Belushi.
Do you feel like they established him well enough if you didn't know who they were?
I feel like it would have felt odd because there's like a certain what's the word I'm looking for here? But for how they portray John Belushi, like angelically, there's like an ominous thing to it.
So
Almost,
what is
in a
his
way.
arc? As
Oh,
far
no
as
one.
storytelling is concerned, it prays that you know who the fuck they're talking about, and that's a problem to me.
True, but I do think that there's so much going on. This is how many characters are there in this movie? Outside
Another
of like
problem. It sounds
Yeah,
like a
sure.
great TV show. It sounds like you brought up 24.
Yeah.
Let's hear 10 episodes of the 90 minutes leading up to it.
Or 30 Rock, but like instead of being like an analog for
Another
SNL, it's literally SNL. Like I think that would have been fascinating. Like do like some of the iconic episodes of SNL. Like do the one with no, not Sylvester Stallone. Ponytail guy.
Steven Seagal.
Yeah. Do the episode. Do the 90 minutes leading up to the Steven Seagal episode. Do the
Sinead
90 minutes. That would have been fascinating. Who was the comedy legend that went on and just bombed horribly because his style of comedy did not mesh with SNL at all?
Milton Berle. We actually saw
Yeah.
him in this one.
Who's it? Yeah, you're right. That was
giant hog.
Oh, I mean,
The legendary hog.
that was the worst part of the movie for me. Actually, seeing J.K. Simmons without a mustache, cursed. Burn it. I hate it. I never want to see that again ever.
You were looking at his mustache?
Well, I'm
Yeah.
okay. For 90% of the time, yes. And then for that one scene, yes, I was looking at that. But I never want to see that man without a mustache again. Who knows? Maybe they could do more. I think it'd be kind of fascinating. I don't know if they could, how they would follow up, maybe like a streaming series. I think that could be fun. The cast was great because like the guy playing Aykroyd nailed it. The guy playing Chevy Chase nailed it. The guy playing John Belushi nailed it. Especially the guy playing John Belushi. When he shaved, he looked just like it. It was kind of scary.
Again, this movie needs you to know who they're talking about. A better movie would introduce you to these people and have you invest something in that character. This movie needs you to know who they're talking about. And that's
is this movie about the characters or is this movie about the chaos of
Isn't movie storytelling?
Well, no, that's what I mean. Like, I'm not saying so. Like, is the point of the movie to really dive into the characters, or is the point of the movie to dive into a moment in time? And
great question.
I don't think it's quite sure because at times you're getting like way too much of the character. They're taking events that didn't happen in this 90 minutes and like shoving them all into this one thing to create more drama. On paper, I should love this. I love every one of these actual people that they're depicting in this. I've read the book and now I'm forgetting what it is, but it's all talking about the early years of Saturday Night Live. There's like 2 documentaries. Like I'm so into that. Someone in the comments mentioned Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, which is like the Aaron Sorkin style dramatization of SNL. Super into that. It really should be like my cup of tea. And I just had this weird, uneasy feeling like the whole time. I had a slightly different experience than you. And I'm super familiar with all these characters.
So wait, let me cut you off.
All right, go right ahead.
It's also weird to call them characters because they're weird people. I just have to throw that in there. Go ahead, CP.
So, Lindsay, the comedian whose time, him and another comedian, they were saying, I'll do 3 minutes. Are you with me? We'll do 3 minutes. And then his bit gets cut. Do you know which comedian that is?
I mean, it's Billy Crystal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sorry. There's so many. I can't name everyone just off the top. I need a moment to go through the entire list.
Like I'm with you. If this were a 10 episode thing, I'd really feel like that's a neat way to do it. But from a film perspective, from a storytelling perspective, it does feel like a member-berry faux mockumentary. I don't know, fan film. I'm sorry, Gray, I cut you off.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I was just replying back to the chat, and then apparently I sent it without actually addressing it. But sorry, Jacob was saying live from New York. That's the one. That's the awesome one that has a lot of these stories in it and everything.
Willem Dafoe's
and I guess what they. Yeah. So there's a lot of performances that are really good in this, but man, there's some that kind of rub me the wrong way. Like, so I am way too familiar with like Chevy Chase's career. I think he might be my dad's like favorite actor. So he made me watch like every one of these things.
That's a good choice.
I love him, and I've heard like so many legends about him, how he is such an asshole. I'm still not sure that he's quite the person that they conveyed here. And then just the actors that they choose to like play these characters. Like, I love me some Gilda Radner, but Ella Hunt is the one playing. Like, they have to kind of unpretty her to make her Gilda, and it kind of seems like a costume to me. Kind of the same with Chevy Chase, and I think Dylan O'Brien really had down like the Dan Aykroyd cadence and kind of mannerisms, but man, he's a buff dude, and it plays off like these women are actually objectifying him. Where if you look back at like that classic sketch where it's women catcalling this man, it comes off as funny because he's like an everyman. He's not like this. I don't know. Just certain things were like, they're using like way too pretty of people. Like that's not what that Saturday Night Live cast was. But I know that's nitpicky. I'm trying to say like you should ugly them up a little bit more, but it kept taking me out. And then when we get to like Belushi, I didn't feel like he really embodied Belushi at all. Like it felt like, okay, so they got him to look just like him, but man, I did not get Belushi vibes. And then when you mention his arc, it's like, okay, so he doesn't want to wear a costume, and then all of a sudden he steps outside, and cool, now we're good. I don't know. I feel like there's so much more that could have been told about this. I do kind of wish it was more like a show like the Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip or whatever. It was compelling, but I think the fact that they were these kind of fictional characters, it didn't quite land with everyone. I think something like this could have been, I don't know. It feels like it could have been way more successful, but I don't know if you could sign on all of these people for it. But there are certain performances that are just like amazing. Like Lamore Morris, who plays Garrett Morris, which is just a weird coincidence that they're
not related.
So similar, but
I forgot to ask about
man, that is an amazing performance. I knew that dude could sing, but man, he could really like channel Garrett Morris, and that was awesome. But there's certain other ones that are very close, but they're not quite there. Kaufman for me is very strange as well. Like I really like that actor. I like him in almost anything that he's in, but man, I don't see him as an Andy Kaufman type. And then I just can't believe that the way that they set it up, the most famous bit that he did on Saturday Night Live was what saved the show in like this minute of peril where it almost gets canceled. But Andy Kaufman, I don't know. There's too many things that I just feel like they're playing a bit fast and loose with history, from what I understand.
Very revisionist and very like if you're watching this, are you supposed to think that the show is a success because they had so many things that they dropped. Meanwhile, he's got time to go scout a comic 2 doors down 20 minutes before the show starts. Are you fucking kidding?
Because he needs a writer. And this dude just happens to have a book.
No.
Sir, have you ever been to Los Angeles? You throw a stick in that city, you find someone trying to break through in this industry, okay?
All right, so fair.
Also, it was New York, so how applicable is that? But still.
I think the other one that I did not praise, I think Gabriel LaBelle, who plays Lorne Michaels, that is an amazing performance. I think he really does embody Lorne. Like, I wasn't taken out from him for a moment. And the other one, man, for some reason he's not in the top cast, but man, I gotta say, there's a couple of them that are just amazing. That is really weird that he's not in the top cast. That I'd have to actually look it up. But I just thought there were some amazing performances in this, but some of them really kind of took me out. But
stuffed.
Maybe that's me. I don't know.
Overstuffed.
Like I don't. Why do I need to know about Carson? I don't like.
The Carson stuff didn't need to be there. Yeah, or diminish it. I think you need to have a little Carson in there to have that threat of whether or not the show's going to go live. I don't think you need the whole scene where he's talking to Carson.
Right, the thing over their head, like, oh, if we fuck up, they're going to go to tape. Like that. That's all you need to know. Not the phone call. Like, come on.
I'm glad Finn Wolfhard finally got in a movie.
I went into this being like, I don't think I know who any of these actors are, because I took a really brief look at the cast list, and then the first person we see is Finn Wolfhard. And it's like, oh, okay. Like it is a flawed movie. Like, I am not going to pretend that it's overstuffed. It's messy. It would have been nice if there was a few more arcs. As I'm watching it, I'm not an expert on Chevy Chase in any way, shape, or form. I didn't know his name was Jeff, so people start calling him Jeff. That threw me off hilariously. But as I'm watching the movie, like, I'm just sitting there going, like, I highly doubt on the series premiere of SNL, someone's going to Chevy Chase and being like, "Aha, you're the future. You're going to be the comedic genius that's going to become, but your dick is not as big as mine." And like,
you don't understand. He's Chevy Chase, and you're not. But yeah, the one that I didn't praise was Tommy Dewey. He plays Michael O'Donoghue. I thought that performance was awesome. I thought he stole like every scene that he's in. But O'Donoghue is kind of really legendary as one of the real I don't know what you'd call it. The people that rile up, if you will. And I thought his portrayal in that was great.
Who is the Al Franken is one of them. Who is the other one?
Yes. Franken and Davis. So that was Taylor Gray and McCabe Gregg.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Not familiar with either of those actors. I thought they did pretty good. They're
Riley.
only in there for a second.
Riley?
Riley, my best friend says hi, so I'm saying hi back.
Oh,
sorry, just
nice.
cut across all of you.
Oh, sorry. I was like, I'm not seeing a name of Riley on any of these chats that are coming. Then I start reading the chats, and I immediately see it. Also, what's up, Cody?
Cody thought that thought it was Eddie Murphy in the movie. That's pretty funny. Close, off by like 5 years, but pretty close.
Actually, I got a really funny Eddie Murphy story. For 20 fucking years, I thought Eddie Murphy was in Meteor Man. I don't know why. I think I watched an Eddie Murphy movie like right before I watched Meteor Man or something, and so I just like crossed them in my head. Does anyone even remember Meteor Man? Am I just speaking gibberish right now? Like,
were you thinking like Osmosis Jones or something? Like,
I don't know. I really don't know. But it was a very embarrassing moment actually. Years ago, I got in the game show that Jeremy Johns was running, and I made that flub in front of Jeremy Johns just to like fully embarrass myself here.
Man, taking credit away from Robert Townsend. Come on.
Yeah, I'm still.
It's not a great film, no idea but we were starved of superhero movies for a while.
Oh,
we had Meteor Man.
Well, I mean, I think the only thing from the movie I like actually explicitly remember is him like using the meteor to like bring the dog back to life or something like that at the very end.
Well, I just did the exact same thing. I meant to say Pluto Nash, and I did Osmosis Jones. So all of those two name ones, they kind of do run together a bit. I'll grant you a little charity there, seeing as how I just did that myself.
All legendary films, of course.
Yes, I've seen them all way too many times.
Are they legendary or are they infamous? But like
I mean, they did something to me.
They all did something to all of us. What did you guys think of the Jim Henson guy, by the way? There was something about him.
I thought he was awesome.
Right?
Sorry,
I
forgot to keep I forgot to keep praising like a lot of the good ones. But I gotta admit, like every scene that he was in, it was like, oh, I want more of this Jim Henson thing. I wanted to see where that's gonna turn out, because you just get a little look on his face at the end, and I wanted more. I wanted to see how he's actually going to pull it off.
Actual Muppets. That's what upset me. Like I love that, but then you don't actually see.
They can't afford the Muppets.
Right.
You know the licensing on a Muppet.
That's the other thing. Like there's like all these little gags and things that they're playing like on the FCC lady, and it's just like, can I really be invested in these people? Like to give a shit? Like if we had some sort of arc to these people, like, but yeah, the FCC's giving them a hard time, but no, we're introduced. She's cutting off these words. We're supposed to know what the inside jokes are, and it's just like, I'm sorry, this doesn't work as a movie. I'm sorry. I want to like it, but no.
It's okay. I mean, you're wrong, but it's fine.
Somehow the FCC part is the part that means the most to me. Man, I love them trying to get around her, and that is kind of what O'Donoghue is kind of known for. So that really works for me. But I guess this film isn't meant for me, because I'm still not truly in love with it or anything like that, and I know the backstory. I'm familiar with what's going on, but
right. And I'm saying I like Lindsay's idea for this. Give me 10 episodes of this and let me have it breathe. It could still take place over 90 minutes, but give us all the different perspectives so I can get connected to these people in the same fashion. Like I'm with you, Gray. The names that they tried to slip in there to I forgot which one made it through, like Dick Whistle or some name that like, she's like, is this a thing? Like that. I laughed, but like, why are they trying to get past her just like from jump? Well, like, what is this?
The golden showers.
What was the last joke that she had?
Yeah, the golden showers. Yes.
That was amazing. I've had 50 golden showers or whatever the heck. That was incredible.
Yeah, for laughter principle, yes, right on. But for storytelling, why are they doing this? Why do they have to write around the restrictions?
Yeah, and kind of why now too. I'm not sure that
last minute, like what? Yeah, and the other thing is,
but like releasing it at this time, it kind of feels like a lot of what the Pop-Tart movie is doing, where it's like, okay, so you're referencing a movie from the 80s and then you're using a bunch of like 50s characters in it. I mean, this isn't quite as far back, but you know what I mean? It's are a lot of people going to get every reference here?
After you show that movie with all the chaos that's happening and everything that's going on, you put up an epilogue and they say, oh, by the way, the show's still going. It's going on its 50th year. You'd be like, what?
Yeah.
This is absolute chaos.
Is it actually 50
This
now or is
year's
it over
50.
50? Wow.
This
Well,
year
that's
is
why they released
50.
it this year.
It is.
Wow, that's nuts, actually.
I want to like it. I like a lot of the people in it. I'm sorry, as far as the perspective, the style of storytelling, I can't hit the ground running like that and just be like, okay. Because there are people I didn't know, and I'm just like, who is this? Why does this matter?
Yeah, I wonder. I think it's just to really determine your like mileage with it, like how much you're able to. That's not a knock. I'm not saying like, oh, you guys, you need to know someone. Like these are flaws. It is a flawed piece of art. It's just it also just kept like. Did you guys ever see the movie? Well, it was a play too. Noises Off. It's a horribly depressing
familiar,
movie
but I'm blanking.
because it's like 3 different actors' last movie before they died or got crippled, and like other cast members have died since. So it's a little depressing, but it shows you it's about putting on a play. The first act is you see the play from the audience's perspective on the dress rehearsal. The second act is you're seeing everything from behind the scenes after the show's been going on for like 6 months, and then the final act is you see it from the audience's perspective again. But the show's been going on for like a year and everyone hates each other and they're drunk and the whole thing is just like falling apart as it goes. And when you watch it as a play, the gimmick is you literally flip the stage. Like the set that's on, you literally flip it in front of the audience. And so like you have to build a front and back stage like for the play. It's fun.
Sounds like a really fun conceit.
It's great, and this is almost like the Saturday Night Live version of that. So again, it's a very specific thing in my brain that's latching onto that's causing me to like it so much. So I admit I'm a mark. I don't disagree with anything you guys are saying.
There's an inside baseball element to it where it's like, oh yeah, like, I don't know. There's like somebody told me once that Punchline was their favorite stand-up movie. I'm like, you don't know what stand-up is. That's atrocious.
Oh, come on. The Locker Room? It's great.
We all have locker rooms at a comedy club. We all do the same set every day.
I mean, so it's a Jason Reitman film. I can't remember if we said that or not. Some of his films I absolutely love, and then some of them are kind of a little bit miss for me. So I was really excited knowing the subject matter and who's doing this. And it seemed like there was a lot of passion behind it. I definitely want to see it again, but yeah, it left me with a weird, uneasy feeling, and I'm not sure why.
But does it leave a bad taste in your mouth, or is it just like disappointing?
No, it's just uneasy. I think it's I just have so much reverence for these people, and it just it kind of feels like I don't know, caricatures of a lot of them.
So it's not Bohemian Rhapsody.
Spot on. I mean, it just I don't know. It felt a little off to me, and it was hard to quite put my finger on it. So I told Charles, like, hey, if you get a chance to see this, tell me, does this make you feel uneasy? And I don't think he felt nearly as uneasy as me. So I want to give it another chance just because I love every one of the actual people that this is based on. I love a lot of these actors that are portraying them, but man, just it kept taking me out at certain parts. So yeah, I got to see it again.
Fair. No, totally fair. I don't know what this is in reference to, but I'm just out of context.
Reference to the censored, the lady with the red pen, what they're trying to get past her.
Yeah. No. Another little fun thing, just because I've watched 30 Rock an embarrassing number of times in my life, and it's all set in the same building. So there were moments be like, I kind of know this hallway. I kind of know the writer's room. I kind of know this stage. It was endearing. Let's go with that. Also, Willem Dafoe was amazing. I don't remember if we've said that
for sure.
Yet. Yeah,
I'm not knocking Willem Dafoe. He plays a great. He's great at whatever he does, but he has a certain menacing nature. Just whatever he's doing, man, love that guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're. No, I'm done. I already said what I said.
No, I loved it, but it's flawed and it could have been better.
Like the execs, I don't know if I understand just what what they were looking for in that. Like there was that threat of the Johnny Carson remake, and apparently they were pawns in this whole thing with Johnny Carson, and it wasn't really about that show. And like, so are you rooting for it to succeed or fail?
Well, I wonder how much weight there is in that, because that kind of stuff does happen. Didn't that happen with Conan? I'm not up on my late night drama. Wasn't that part of the Conan thing with what's his face? They tried to use. Say it again. Conan and Jay Leno, wasn't that the beef that they had? That Conan was basically just used as a way to take money away from Jay Leno.
No, Jay Leno took the Tonight Show back.
Oh, or something like that. Because I remember back in the day, not a great a great show back in the day, but the dude who makes it kind of sucks. Louis. There's an episode about Louis where like they're offering to give Louis C.K. like the fictionalized version of him the Tonight Show. But it turns out it's all just a ploy to get the other guy to do it for less money. I don't know
things like that happen everywhere. I don't know.
That happens a lot, man.
No,
you gotta
that's
have
what I'm saying. Yeah.
options and leverage. Hey, this guy's willing to do it for cheaper.
I just think there's like another thing to put into the backdrop. You could have just introduced it and just had it be like something hovering over their head, not reminding us every 15 minutes or so. But again, give me 8 hours of that over the course of 10 episodes, rah. But as far as a story, a contained story, it does not move like a movie's supposed to.
And maybe it is that like kind of. Sorry. Maybe it is kind of that real time 90-minute thing. Maybe that's what made me uneasy about this. That being said, you mentioned things that like have a time frame thing on it, much like The Bear. I really love that show, and I love that episode in specific that you're talking to that has like a real time crunch element to it.
Different format,
but something about this just kind of it just made me uneasy the whole time. It was hard to really nail my finger down on it. I need to see it again, I think, but there's some really amazing performances here. It's not like this is like a flop or a horrible movie. I was expecting to really love this, and for some reason it was like, ugh, I feel weird about this.
I agree.
That's fair. Well, good Saturday night discussion, guys. On to a more fun topic, the Killer Clown. Let's catch up with chat, though. Is there anything I'm missing over here? Something that happened. Look, I'm not an expert on all the dramas everywhere in the world all at once. I apologize.
I think there was a thing at one point.
There was things. There was a disagreement on something. Oh wow, yeah. Is it fair to say Jay Leno comes out as a dick to me?
Completely fair.
Yeah,
pretty fair.
He seems.
But hey, that dude doesn't take an actual paycheck. He just makes money off his comedy. So. He's better than me. Plus cars.
That chin's fake, though, right? That's a prosthetic. He got like a fake chin that he put over like his real chin. But yeah,
but A3.
Yeah, there we go. We got a little bit from Gray on Terrific for you, Rear Ryer 3. The third inning.
Terrific EA.
What did you think of it, Charles? You have some opinions from behind stage. I'm taking it.
It's not as good as the second one for me. It's a heck of a lot more. I mean, this movie, all of these movies, they're not storytellers as much as I just grinded the Saturday Night Movie for not being a good storyteller.
Irony.
This is destination cinema where you're going to watch the effects, and it certainly goes harder than the previous session, but it takes steps backwards for me as far as storytelling is concerned and connective tissue. The gore, the pushing the bars, they do that. They go further. But advancing the story, I still think 2 is better, which is saying quite a bit because I felt like the story in 2 was quite choppy. And yet another movie that wastes Lauren Rivera's performance. And between The Well and this, it's a great year. And oh boy, I'm never watching horror again. 2 out of 5. Although,
did he actually say that?
I know he was not having a good time.
Okay, that's fair.
yeah, there's
fair.
some turmoil.
Oh,
But
geez.
to something that Lomax, I mean, those of you who know Brian Lomax, he's very, faith-based, religious. Having him watch this as the culmination of Terrifier is something of, I don't know. We didn't know that it was going to be this when we scheduled this thing a year ago, but for this to culminate in this very Christy religious imagery thing, where the movie basically has subtext about how much we lie to kids and what symbolism does to us.
No way. Go on. That crown of thorns was not a symbol. No.
Wait, was that supposed to be Jeebus? No, Jeebus. Wait, no.
She had stigmata.
No, that was sword mata. It wasn't like actually like stabbed through her hands. It was a slice. It was like slice mata. No, you guys are putting things in there that aren't there at all.
Yeah. So it's cryptically ironic that the end of the road here for Brian this year, for the 31 that is Terrifier 3, that is just so hard hitting and silly, and a bit much with the visuals. They go far in both Christmas imagery and Christian imagery, and little people getting blown up for good measure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was wincing during that entire third act. I was like, oh man, Brian is gonna be so pissed. But yeah, if you're familiar with the franchise, you know what you're getting into. It's just a step or two further. But where the franchise doesn't advance is in storytelling. It's just like, yeah, here's the thing that's happening. And then the second you're like, wait a minute, but that thing that happened, don't worry about it. We're just doing this now. And that's frustrating to me because it really excels in the visuals. I mean, Tom Savini's in this. It's something that like he would, I mean, I don't want to spoil too much before we get into it, but
wait, that was Tom Savini. That's hilarious. I was like, wait, who's this guy? He looks so familiar. Wow. Okay. All right.
But yeah, if you like one, if you like two, Gray, you've recently taken the other two in.
Yeah,
it's more of the same. But as far as where I feel like something
amped up,
right, it's more. But like in the other things where it's a little bit less than great, I feel like there's not really progression, and that's kind of, I don't know, a bit of a bummer for me.
Yeah, it's true. Bob points out that we also glossed over Clint Howard.
Dude, that whole bar scene.
Yeah. Wait, who's the bartender? He looks familiar too.
I'm kind of blanking.
I know.
I didn't recognize him because I saw Savini and Clint Howard. I mean, it's like, come on.
And Santa was what's his face from. Speaking of Lost, he was also in Lost.
Who is he on Lost?
He's the teacher from season 2 that gets blown up. The guy who handles the dynamite.
Oh yeah.
Aren't?
Man, that messed with like 12-year-old me when that first happened or whatever. And he's just like in the middle of a speech, he just blows up. Like,
you got to be very careful handling this. Patoof.
Exactly.
Roebuck, right? Thank you, Cody.
What?
Yeah, Daniel Roebuck. Apparently, I am not too familiar with a lot of his other work, other than the aforementioned Lost.
If you saw him without his Santa getup, you'd recognize him from things.
Probably. Yeah, no, okay, so I tried to do for this what I did for Rosemary's Baby in Apartment 7A last week. Although I dropped the ball and didn't get around to watching Terrifier 1 or 2 today. So I watched Terrifier 3 with knowing nothing beyond Funny Clown Man, incredible performance by Funny Clown Man, super gory. And I'm like, sure, let's do it. Like I'm down for all this stuff. And I liked it. I felt a little dirty afterwards, but I did enjoy it. But man, that first like 10, 15 minutes where it's like Christmas murder, then 5 years in the past, more murders, just going to bed in a bathtub, and then it's the present day. Wait, what's the present day? Was the first scene with murder at Christmas the present day, or
it's present 5 years back to present? That's what they did.
I mean, I get it, but it's just like still a little complicated. I don't know, man. I thought it was like, for a second, I didn't think there was going to be an actual narrative, and it was just kind of just going to be just like little novellas kind of this clown just going around murdering.
To be honest, that's kind of what works. Like,
yeah.
I would, considering what we've gotten so far, just abandon the whole story element and just do little novellas because people enjoy it.
But Damien Leone has a plan.
Does he?
You don't understand. He's had this arc for him. We're going to get the real arc in the next one, but it's all planned out.
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching a bunch of interviews with him. It sounds like he does have a plan, even though, you don't necessarily get a lot of information in these films as to
it's frustrating for me.
Origins or what exactly the rules are.
Especially considering the cream of this is in the effects. And like you said, Thornton's art, I don't know how you get to have someone smile at the obscene things that are happening on the screen, but he's just so charismatic as this goofy clown that's just doing the worst things ever. Oh, and as far as equal opportunity nudity, you saw some nudity bits just get shredded in this movie, which was right on. I don't think I saw breasts, but I saw
you got to look at the other Terrifiers for that.
Very, very quick. But there was more. I think there was more dongly-do than there was.
Yeah. I think you do get to see the roommates or whatever at the college dorm. He's enjoying company in the shower, if you will.
Yeah, well, at least it's not a clit to tit cut like the first one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, it's kind of fair game considering what they've done in previous ones. So, now it's equal opportunity. It's kind of magnanimous of them.
I haven't seen the first two or the short films or anything like that, but I did do a little research when I knew I wasn't going to be able to squeeze them in just so I wouldn't be a complete idiot. Oh, some of those kills sound
not
quite
since Bone
interesting.
Tomahawk have I seen some of this really fun gore. Maybe it's because I kind of got in this strange rarefied era where I kind of watched them all in order and then went to Terrifier 3. But man, I really enjoyed it. I guess I kind of knew what I was getting into with that. But I guess if you just start with Terrifier 3, it would be kind of a steep ramp up, just violence right away. And a lot of it.
Which is fine. Like, it's horror. I didn't expect it to be, like happy, fluffy kittens prancing about singing aristocrats. But I guess I wasn't quite ready for the first kill of the movie to be a child. That kind of took... Fair. I should have said something. I'll be more careful. But
maybe it's the first in the film. But if you go with the chronology in it, not the first.
It does need to be said that, like, if you have problems with like pets and kids, this is not your movie. Like
animals in general, like because they mutilate a rat or two.
It's gory. I mean, right on for getting something of this level on over 1,000 screens. Like, cool. Let's have choices. Thank you very much. But at the same time, this isn't a family film by any stretch.
But it's a Christmas movie.
Go down the hall to watch another
some families involved.
There were families involved. I thought the family was very sweet. I really liked Gabby. The character was quite fun. There's that moment where
a niece.
Yeah, exactly. The younger niece. Like, I like the moment where she's like, "What is it? I'm a little thief. Or I'm a little sneak, or something like that." She just admits that she looked in her Christmas presents or something.
Oh, yeah, the diary too, right? Isn't that?
Oh yeah.
It's a character piece at this point. It's part of her character. She's sneaky.
Yeah,
as kids are.
It was
you got
fun.
time on your hands,
right?
Christmas, sneaky kids on Christmas.
I remember I went to go visit my dad at Christmas, and like I think it was like 6th grade or something like that. And he's like, "Okay, Lindsay, don't look in this part of the office. That's where things are that you shouldn't see." And The first time he went out of the house without me, I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Okay.
Nothing but sex toys.
well,
Learn
the
your
best
lesson.
part was I never would have looked in that part of the office if you didn't tell me to made your
Yeah.
attention to it. So. Love you, Dad.
But yeah, you mentioned David Howard Thornton and just how charismatic he is as art.
Dude.
So I happened to watch the first one, which is I think The Ninth Circle was just the short film, and then from there they go to All Hallows Eve, and I guess this was a previous actor who retired after that, and then in Terrifier 1 is when David Howard Thornton took it up.
Okay.
Man, so I really do like the first actor, but man, David Howard Thornton just brings so much like kind of charisma, and it's just those little like mime movements that are just they're so playful. I gotta admit, I laughed a lot more at the last two Terrifiers than I did at the short film or All Hallows Eve.
I agree. Yeah, I certainly chuckled a couple of times where I was like, "Ooh, I'm so disgusted. Why am I laughing right now?"
I'm trying to remember what the kill was, but very early in the movie, he's like horribly, or maybe right. Okay, so I won't get too specific, but he's hitting someone with an axe, and someone sees it, and they're like, ah, and he just starts pointing at them and just like silently laughing, and I'm just like, oh, it's gonna be that kind of movie. Okay, let's go.
There's a moment where somebody talks about, to be in the presence of Art the Clown, and like they show you like reaction shots, and they say something like, I want to know what he smells like, and then Art does one of these, and he shrugs his shoulders like, it smells fine to me.
No, it's
just comedy, like it's old school silent film comedy, and it's just, when you consider what else is happening, like, why am I laughing? This is terrible.
It's like Commedia dell'arte. Like, is that what it is? Like, the dude's had some training, and he's like using it. It's like he went to like actual like acting school, and he's like, oh, I can actually like use this course that I read about a classic clowning in like 12th grade or something. Oh my god, let's go.
Just try and do miming. It's not as easy as it looks, and if you sell it. But yeah, Cody's pointing out that the special effects in this were done by the guy who did Passion of the Christ. Like, man, that is kind of amazing. A lot of the effects in this are kind of upped like heavily since Damien was actually doing it himself for like the last couple films. At least he was the one who was credited as like makeup effects. But man, they've definitely stepped them up quite a bit for this. But it's bigger budget, so why wouldn't you?
I definitely have to agree with the Cody here. By the way, when the pure excitement, the way that he like double backed and like just like pressed himself up against the window, and then like he's going into the bar and he just completely blows past the women, like, just get out of my way, just like it's an incredible performance. Like 30 years from now, people are still going to be talking about Terrifier, if for no other reason than what's his name, Howard what or something Howard?
David Howard Thornton.
David Howard Thornton. Yeah, man, dude's a legend.
Yeah,
living fucking legend.
So a lot of people talk about Robert Englund as Freddy. You know how hard it is to be legendary like Michael Myers or Jason without being able to talk? This guy does it. Like, this guy is,
and he's filling somebody else's clown shoes. They're big shoes to fill for a number of reasons.
But I mean, we've had 3 now, and he's really kind of this generation's horror star, and he's got the charisma to warrant that sort of reaction. I certainly, for this century, he's a Mount Rushmore guy, I would say.
Probably, yeah. Or at least for like modern horror. Like, who else would like we put up there? Like from like the last like 20 years, who like actually will stand the test of time. Well, so Scream's 28 years at this point.
Oh,
because it was 96, right?
Yeah, if you're going 20 years, it has to be like,
well, maybe 24 years just for like just the 21st century. Not like
there's not many.
Babadook.
There's one movie.
Yeah, okay. Oh, okay, that's right.
As far as like a Mount Rushmore, like if you need just an image on a poster.
Like Ghostface changes every time. It's just the voice, man. Which
sure. That's Scream. Yeah. So we got Ghostface. We got Art the Clown.
It's
good.
It's a short list.
I
Yeah.
guess
Very short-lived.
the Darth Maul looking demon
Oh.
from Insidious. Does he count? He doesn't really have a personality.
I
What
like
do
the
you
female version
call-
of him.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, there are a bunch of like aliens and creatures and stuff, but did they even give them names? Like, I'm trying to think. Now I'm blanking on the entire name of the franchise. They just came out with a third one in it. A Quiet Place. I'm sorry. They don't have those like names for those creatures, do they? Or am I just blanking on it?
Yeah, I
Death
don't-
Angels. I think they've ever said that like
Ah.
in a movie, but like outside the movies, that's what they're called.
They don't
Go ahead.
have mascots though. Like
Yeah,
Art the Clown
you
is
gotta
something
kind
that
of
you
hide
could,
those creatures.
like. I have this handy right by my desk. This is something that you can sell
Ooh.
toys on.
So Cody just put us to shame. Jigsaw. Fair enough. That would be a really kind of iconic one.
But
Thank you.
I mean, he's made it through 10 of them. Well, except for
arguably-
Spiral. He was not in
Yeah.
Spiral. That was a pig.
arguably, is the little fucking thing on the tricycle isn't really the thing doing anything. Jigsaw is a couple of different characters, so yes
Fair
and no.
enough.
I would add a stipulation,
I mean,
like at
well,
least
it's a
Art is
mantle.
the guy doing
Tobin
it all
Bell.
the time.
Yeah, Tobin Bell is a mantle. Every generation needs a Tobin Bell. When one dies, another random human being in the world morphs into Tobin Bell, and
And an angel gets its wings.
exactly. What about American Horror Story? I know that's like a different thing every season.
Nope.
Would any of
Nope.
that qualify?
Disqualified.
I'm just curious. I'm reaching for the fences here, trying to think of something here. The Hills Have Eyes. They got it, or The Wrong Turn. Is that
Do
big
you
enough?
see
to
how
count?
low your picking is right now?
Oh,
Like,
100%.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
getting
what I'm
desperate.
saying.
I don't.
like I don't even think it's an argument at this point. It's just kind of like, all right, when you four names, I've got one already. That's pretty easy. I mean, if you want
Because-
to go back and like start counting
Yeah.
Jason, like that's when you start getting into the, all right, well,
Well,
Mr.
and I was trying
Movie,
to tell you last week, too. Like,
go ahead, sorry.
my niece and all her friends, they're all wearing Terrifier stuff. They all have Art the Clown merch. I don't see them wearing, like, I guess there was like Scream stuff back in the day, but
oh sure,
I don't
Yeah.
see a bunch of people wearing like Quiet Place shirts or
Right.
even like Saw, really. Art is very, very visceral. There's something about that. And especially like they do that very well in All Hallows Eve. There's this very iconic image that then they kind of use in the promotion of a lot of the other ones. Just man, it leads to really good stuff. And yeah, but come on, dude. Chris Rock wrote his own stand-up for Spiral, so it's a good
Ugh.
movie.
yeah.
Yeah, man, Spiral was fucking weird. Sorry, I just had to say that.
So
Ooh, I forgot
Watching-
about Jeepers Creepers. What about that creature?
Nope.
Whoa.
Nope.
Yeah, Legacy
Scandal.
alone. Yeah,
Scandal.
no.
disqualification. So watching Terrifier 3, this is another thing where I'm kind of, for the first time,
Mhm.
I'm kind of jealous of a modern horror audience where I don't want to call myself mature, but watching this, I'm like,
no one's gonna call you mature,
yeah.
Charles. Don't worry.
but I was watching it and I'm like, oh man, I wish I didn't really ask so much of a movie, because this is the movie that when you're a teenager and you challenge your friends, like how far can you make it into Faces of Death? Like this is that movie. And it's also something that's relatively funny and entertaining on top of the fact that, all this FX really challenges you. And it's one of those things that it's certainly more than Faces of Death. While I will complain about the story, I can recognize that, man, 15 years ago, I'd be like, oh, all day, give me this all day. And
So you're saying you're too good for it? You're
Yes.
too learned
Yes.
of a movie enjoyer. But
Charles and
come
his
on, man!
fancy
Like
britches
you love the
over here.
Friday the 13th ones.
but that's like,
Can you
If I-
put each one of those up against this? Like,
no,
I love me
No.
some Jason in Space, but I don't know. That's the only one that I think had as much laughs as this one for me personally.
I don't. That's where I'm offended. Like I don't go to Friday the 13th to laugh. Like that's kind of like.
That's hilarious because I always go to Friday the 13th.
You want to kick my dog while you're here?
It's right here, actually. I specifically.
No, it's one of those things where if film school broke my perception of things. And if I had, it's nostalgia heavy with Friday the 13th. I can say that half of the franchise is awful, but a lot of it is just nostalgia. It's the period of time I watched it. It was the environment. It's the things surrounding the thing. And the only thing that I can associate to that time is that movie, and that's why I have something there, because it means a lot more than just men in hockey masks killing things. So like it's how people think that Blockbuster is awesome, and it's like, yeah, but nobody will go to one right now if they're open. You
I would,
like,
for the record. You have no idea how badly I want to just wander the aisles and find some movie I've never heard of before,
and make sure you keep it in business.
Well, no, but I just want to do it at
Let's
least
go a
once.
bit far.
I just need my hit, man. Like, let me get my fix.
Yeah, like we're powered by memories and things, and I no doubt am certain that right now something like Terrifier is doing that to, like, 13, 14-year-olds right now. Like I mean, Gray just said it. Like, this is the thing right now, and that's
It
wild.
is
I think they were
insane.
a group of 15-year-olds, and they're all into it, and they were all super excited. I mean, like, they're not old enough to go see this, but they managed to do
like
it.
that's what I'm
Good
talking
on
about. Like
them.
ooh, mom's going to bed. Let's watch Terrifier. Like that, like that like sneaking the thing that you shouldn't be watching, and then you're like fucking horrified when you do, and you're afraid of the backyard for some reason after you watch that movie, and just like I'm jealous and envious of all the
This
toys
movie
kids
completely
have.
ruined me wandering into an abandoned building that's falling apart, seeing a headless corpse, and not thinking I'm about to get killed by that headless corpse. So this movie does have like real world parallels. Let's be honest. Yeah.
It's awesome. Cody
there was-
said
yeah,
that his
there
theater
was
was
a lot
packed
of-
and everyone was wearing the merch. Like, that is awesome. I know that's my
Wait a minute.
experience with like my niece and all of her friends, but
Cody was at the
wait.
premiere. Get the fuck
yeah, I
out
was
of
gonna
here,
say,
Cody.
wait a minute. That's
I
a little
retract
different.
putting that statement up,
And
sir.
someone looked just like Sienna in the crowd too.
Yeah, there was like real cosplay for this.
Oh my god, do you think that would
Fair enough.
He probably didn't, but I would love if the guy who played Art, again, I'm blanking on his name, I'm a bad person. If he showed up to the
David Howard
premiere,
Thornton.
David Howard Thornton just showed up to the premiere of Terrifier 3 just in the full outfit. That would have been amazing.
Dude, so there's this fun video online. So not only is there a music video now for the art out there, but also for some reason David Howard Thornton got dressed up as Art the Clown and went to a Spirit Halloween. It is kind of awesome to just watch him scare the crap out of real people unsuspecting. Right. But yeah, good times. It's a little bit
he's like a really
than,
chill dude behind
movies.
scenes. I saw some making of
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
And he's just being fun and delightful, kind of like Pennywise the Clown was actor, Bill Skarsgård. It's just fun when someone's like being this horrifying thing, but they're just a delightful person. I love watching those types of behind the scenes. Sorry.
We were corrected. Cody did not see all the merch at Fantastic Fest or at the premiere. It was just opening night. So good for him.
And when we were talking about Charles, bitch is always necessary.
Well, it's appreciated. Yeah, I don't know. I showed up a little bit late to mine. I still made it for the previews and everything, but I didn't get to check out the crowd if they were all wearing the merch. But I'm assuming they are from the small sampling I've seen near me. So, well, yeah, I think it's one of the most iconic characters in years, and I'm glad they're still on the ramp up. I hope, since Terrifier 4 may or may not be kind of his peak of his story, I hope they're able to continue that ramp for the next one.
Yeah, I'm definitely on board. I'm going to see one or two soon. Probably when I get back to LA, a friend of mine wants to have a horror movie night. I'll probably recommend these two, with the asterisk of it might traumatize you slightly.
Yeah, it's.
Don't forget about All Hallows Eve. It's kind of, it ramps you up into it. You get to learn who this character is a bit. It's a fun introduction, if you will.
No.
Yeah, it's. I have a bit of a, I don't know, a hot take. It seems like fans of horror are a little bit more grounded than. I don't want to talk about real stuff. So,
they're better than Star Wars fans.
Oh,
I'll just say
fucking by miles. Better than comic fans, and they're more like when you hear about people who do things and relate to the Joker. They do some fucked up shit. You have people dressed up like a serial killer at these things, and they're having fun. I know there's probably an example where that's not the case, but it seems like generally speaking, it's a lot of these loners that are into comic shit that seem to not understand what the actually, I'm sorry. I'm going
Well,
to
the
bail
internet
on
has
this.
made everyone, even though less people are educated now than ever before. I don't know if that's true or not. But I'm just
With all
telling
the
you it is.
information in the world. That's great.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like everyone on the internet thinks they're the expert on everything, even though they don't have a basic understanding of anything. And I say that as someone who's like my big moment as an editor, where I realized like truly how little I understood about editing was the moment where I'm like, oh man, I'm an editor now, aren't I? So, but like so many people just aren't willing to have that moment of there's things I don't understand or that I still need to learn. It's like scary alien concept. Sorry, I don't even know why I had to go off on that. Just something made me say that. Take control back, Charles.
I guess my point is, without going too far into I don't know, crazy land, is
check out my channel. I ramble incoherently all the time.
Yeah. It seems like horror fans are a bit more aware that what they're watching is fiction, silly shit, whereas there are some people who watch other forms of genre movies that take that shit as life. And I don't know. I think horror gets a really bad rap from, like, I don't know, news and shit. Like, oh, these things are the worst thing ever. It's like, is it?
I agree with you.
We know it's fake.
From coming from kind of like the metal world and everything, metal and horror kind of go hand in hand, and they kind of view those guys the same way. Where it's like, oh my god, no, they're just regular people. They like to laugh. But I don't know, man. I think when you get to fandoms, it gets interesting because how much of horror is gatekept too? Like, how many people have like the wrong take on like Halloween or like the wrong version of that, or any flavor of them. But I agree with you.
That doesn't think Halloween 6 is the best one is automatically wrong. So.
Halloween fans are a little different than things as well, but they're not like,
no
school shooters or anything. So like, that's kind of my point.
Now that you've said that, there's going to be a Halloween fan who is a school shooter, Charles. Come on, bud.
I'm just saying, like, fandoms come from fanatics, and anytime you get fanatical about anything, there's some unreasonable members in that bunch. But I dig the horror community, but I would hate to get on the wrong side of them for going out on a weird take as well. I still think you'd get a whole bunch of crap.
Dude, Cody gave a warm/mediocre take to Halloween 2018 and fucking
that's kind of what I was thinking of.
he gave it a 3.4 out of 5.
Wait, what? People gave him shit for that?
When he did to Halloween, he reviewed 2018, and he gave it a 3.4 out of 5. And they hounded him. For the record, I gave Terrifier 3 a 2 out of 5.
Wow.
I'm not popular, but it's just there's some cuckoo shit.
There's in the video game world, there's a thing where like you gave this a 7, so it's like it's either the worst game ever, a 9, or a 10. There's no 2 through 8 to a lot of gamers. It's nuts.
May I introduce you to multi-topic talk?
His scale starts with 7 levels of badness, and then anything from 7 a little bit forward is decent. 7 is average. It's an interesting scale.
It's right there in the number.
Wow. So Cody's pointing out that apparently you scored Terrifier the same as Brian.
Yeah.
So
2
you guys agree on more than you'd think.
2 is my favorite of the lot.
You see, that's like I'm going to go off a completely different tangent. Like my issue with like, it's X out of X number of qualifiers. It's like a 2 from Charles is different than a 2 for Brian, but you're both giving it to the same movie. Like that's.
Trust me, I am well aware of just how haunting it is that like when our numbers line up, I'm like, I need to take a shower. I think this is bad.
Don't get me wrong. Like I do get like the concept of like to oversimplify thoughts and like a quick little like summary, but at the same time, it's like give me the fine details, give me the nitty gritty, give me the blood angel of a film review.
It's going to be a fun 31 and 31. One more movie left to watch, and then I get to work.
Wow, you're making your way through those.
Ooh, Dice agrees with me for once. What does she agree with me with? Or did they agree? I'm curious. I apologize. And also, I'm an asshole. I love you, Dice. I'm sorry.
We can all
I got
agree on
excited.
that. I don't know.
Dude, you've called me Charlie Peter already, so I mean,
I have.
it's
Everyone
just
knows
you.
I call people the wrong name.
It's not us,
how
it's you.
Wow, we're breaking up now? Like,
But just keep in mind, it's not us, it's you.
So, Gray, did you talk about? Oh, actually, all of them versus 1, verse 2, verse 3, and where they think?
Yeah, so it's all kind of a blur. I don't think you need to see. Now I'm forgetting the name of it. Is it the Ninth Circle?
Yeah,
The
that's
first
book
short.
in the bus.
Yeah, there's a reason why somebody is reading that book on the bus. It is because that was a short film that came out. I think it's either 20 years ago or 19 years ago. About 20 years ago.
the
but they
lady.
In the bus,
Mhm.
she was reading that book, and I'm like, man, that feels very
That's
obligatory.
hilarious. I
There's a reason
remember
for it.
catching that, being like, "Oh, the Ninth Circle of Hell. Where's that going?" And then I completely forgot about it.
Yeah, and the bus driver's like,
Yeah.
I like rom-coms. I'm like, rom-com books?
Yeah,
What's
my favorite books. You know?
rom-com books?
It ends with us. Yeah, so it's kind of cool, but they use a lot of that short in All Hallows Eve. That might be a fun start to it. It's kind of one of those like anthology ones. Not to spoil too much, but a kid goes trick-or-treating and he finds a cassette tape, a VHS, in his trick-or-treat bag. And then,
That's cool.
like a random tape does, it introduces you to some fun scenes, perhaps vignettes, if you will. But most of that short is in there. It's an introduction, and it is a different actor playing Art the Clown. But man, there's this one part of that I will not forget, and I want that image very much from that thing. It's totally worth seeing. One's pretty fun. It kind of feels like kind of a random slasher flick, if you will, but with the silent clown in there, and it's great. There's not like a ton that would say that it's innovative. Where two, they're kind of doing some more stuff it's a little bit different. At the same time, there's a lot of tropes thrown in there. I enjoyed two a little bit more than one, and I don't know. I maybe it's because it just keeps ramping up, but I'm kind of digging three right now. Perhaps it is the bigger budget, the more effects that they're able to throw into it. It's not just, you can kind of tell when there's just blood packs behind things as opposed to like stuff actually having some weight to it. I feel like the effects in three sell it a little bit more for me. So that's kind of where I'm at. But there's some aspects of two that I really dig. I think really 2 and 3 are the strongest in this whole bunch. But that's kind of how you want it. You want it to ramp up, not get worse as it goes on.
What is the scene that people were talking about that they couldn't handle in 3? Because I felt like the bedroom scene in 2 is still harder.
I've heard the legend of
would
the
it
bedroom
be
scene.
would it be the opening like Chris Jericho maybe, or
Really?
I'm not sure. There is also the thing with the kids. That might be hard for some, but I mean, like, it is pretty comical. You don't see a lot.
Seeing kids,
it's kind of hard for me
at
to
least that graphically is. I mean, it's not. It happens, but it doesn't happen that often in cinema. So
No
maybe that's
shot we get ad money on this. Zero chance.
Probably.
Oh, I guess Jacob's pointing out the rat scene. Maybe that. They do kind of keep showing you rats through it, but I don't think that's as intense as a lot of the things in 2. Like, especially when she kind of goes to that dream world thing. Like, a lot of that seemed a lot more disturbing to me in 2. But and the laundromat. I don't know why that laundromat scene is so creepy to me, but it very much is.
Could it maybe be the shower? The art? Oh, really? Yeah, no. I don't know. I like.
Fair enough.
I gotta stop watching French extremist movies because I was like, didn't hurt.
Well, you also have to remember that this is, and correct me if I'm wrong on this. There's a little bit of
You're wrong.
assumption here. That's fair. But I think this is a lot of people's first real over-the-top gore fest of this kind to get like a major release like this. So like maybe people are going in and be like, oh, this is just going to be like Scream 3 or like Halloween or something. And then it's not. And so like maybe that's like catching people off guard, and it's causing walkouts, maybe. I don't know. People walked out of Joker because there was 2 musical scenes. People walk out for weird reasons.
Hey, there was more than 2. There were
by the second
13
one,
songs. Okay, fair enough.
It's
There were 13 songs, and then there's
Oh.
2 additional ones that are pretty much like a music video in there. But yes, I would say it's not your traditional musical, but come on, that is a musical right there.
From Sean Sheridan, by the way. How far does the go gore before we say that's too much? Genuine question.
Depends for the audience. I do
Yeah.
think this is a bit much for an R-rated audience, but if
Well, I don't know.
we're going to get nothing but cape shit at the theaters, fuck it, cinema, you made your bed, lie in it.
Well, one here would be
Shut up,
over the
Lucas.
line
You have a
for
lame older
like-
brother and you have no idea what you're talking about. I'm definitely not your older brother.
So like you're saying that it's close to the line. So like, what about this would be NC-17? Like when I'm thinking back of NC-17 ones that I've seen, it's like Orgasmo's one of them, and man, there's like nothing in there. It's pretty tame. I don't know why they got an NC-17, but
Well, have you seen
like Cannibal
Sterling?
Holocaust? Or yeah, I have.
That's NC-17.
Wait,
And I don't feel like this is on that level. Like this to me feels like Evil Dead 2. Like they are going for that splat stick where it's not quite as comical as Army of Darkness, and it's not quite as dark as like Evil Dead. But man, there's that. I think Raimi and Bruce Campbell kind of coined that splat stick where it's kind of a slapsticky. I think that's really art's gimmick, but I don't know, man. It feels like it's on par with Evil Dead 2 to me, but. Maybe I'm looking at that with
You're desensitized,
rose-colored
too,
glasses.
sir.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is 30 plus years of sitting through this shit and being like, yeah, it doesn't. I could eat pasta during these things now, and maybe I'm the wrong person.
Yeah, you might need to talk to someone about that, by the way. If you're eating pasta while watching people get knocked out.
Dude, these assholes keep sending me these terrible fucking movies, and then I watch them and then review them and.
Hey, but happiness.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's nothing a little bizarre about that movie.
Man, yeah. I don't know the bedroom scene, but I know I've heard of it. Yeah. I hope they never do that with a child on camera.
Yeah. The opening. That's what he's talking about. The kids in
Yeah.
the bedroom.
Well,
He's switching.
I thought you meant like the legendary bedroom scene from the second one.
Yeah.
Again, I haven't seen it, but I hear is bad.
I mean, the fact that they took another major character and imply rather aggressively that they are no longer with us is bold.
Yeah, that did kind of catch me off guard too. I did almost forget about that. I kind of saw the twist that like, oh, this person's dead. I kind of saw that coming, but it was a capital C choice to have not one but 2 fairly important deaths almost entirely off screen.
You don't even know how important without seeing 2.
Oh right, yeah.
Oh, fair. Well, I mean, it's her brother.
Dick.
Sorry.
Spoiler.
I've done that twice now. I apologize, everyone who hasn't actually seen this movie yet.
Spoiler: people die.
And on that subject, so right before the reveal that those characters died off screen, like she gets attacked, but it feels like for me, I assumed it was like another like, am I crazy vision attack? I didn't actually expect it to be like a real attack. So the fact that it just kept going and going and going, and then she's knocked out and she wakes up all tied up, I was kind of not ready for her. It's like, I feel like we really just skipped to the
That's
third act
why,
right there.
like, if it were like a psych out thing, I would appreciate it more. But considering what we've seen all this time throughout all the movies, why?
I'm sorry,
tape
Adam. I'm sorry.
Yeah, why tape someone up in that climax? It doesn't make sense to me. And I'm trying to put way
It's a prank, bro.
It's a prank.
Yeah.
Think about it. He gets to silently laugh when there's reveal is there.
Yeah, and what's like what I don't know. I understand. I'm doing the wrong thing when I watch this, but if you're going to like suggest certain emotions, I'd like to know where you're going with that and why I should feel those emotions. And if you're, just relentless with everything, but for one person, you're going to tie them up and show them the worst things in the world. What is the end goal?
Well, they want to make her pay, right? Because she won in the second one.
Be evil. The gross face wanted to intake her body, right, or something, or
So, yeah, is that from the second one? Is that explained that she can hop between bodies or something?
That's an issue that I have. Okay. I don't know what the
Okay.
the connective tissue is. Pardon the pun. And yeah, there's a character from 2 that
supposedly it will be explained. Like the hints are supposedly there, according to the interviews that I've seen with Damien Leone. I don't necessarily see them. To me, there is a little bit unexplained, but supposedly the future will tell us all.
I love that trick. I love that. Wait till the third movie down the line. We'll totally get that figured out for you.
Well, it's what makes modern.
Apparently,
Marvel
Cody gets it, which is awesome.
Okay. And so his girlfriend, the Art's girlfriend. So is she in?
Woman?
Yeah, face girl. Is she in charge or is Art in charge?
Good question.
Well, yeah. All will be explained in Terrifier 4.
Lindsay, had I known that you had these questions, I would have prescribed you to watch 2 at the very least.
Okay.
Because if you have questions,
you should
without
see 1 so that you
sure.
get to know the origin of one of the characters in this.
Okay.
One character does have an origin in 1, and it's unexpected, if you will.
Highlight that Bob comment, please. Each sequel keeps adding to the lore, but I appreciate the randomness of the first. I agree with that, but at the same time, if you're just going to have these novellas, just do that. But when you start connecting tissue, it's just what is it? Am I supposed to know what this lore is that you're not really covering, or is it all random? Because you can't do both at the same time.
Could this also be how do I?
Ooh. Cody's relating it to things that you would understand, Charles.
Oh, a movie
breaking it down for you.
Great.
The demon that revived Art has been using him like Freddy used Jason in FVJ, the greatest of all the movies. I don't know. Cause chaos and kill everyone close to Sienna so she can be broken and possessed. Then no one can stop the demon. Makes sense.
All right, sure. What was I going to say?
I don't understand. If they break Jesus, no one can stop them.
I'm wondering if Brian liked that angle.
Maybe.
Because Brian's usually someone who doesn't like the devil getting so much credit. Ooh. I really hope with Cody explaining everything away, I hope it's not me arguing with Brian this upcoming time. I need a break.
But it makes for fun shorts. I've been watching those a lot the last couple days.
Yeah, if you watch the shorts, let me know. I'm trying to put a collection together. So a patron said to do a top 5 or a top 10 or a tier list. I don't know if I can do a tier list because some people find certain things funny than others. But yeah, it is fun to think about those. When a demon comes to Earth, an angel rises to counterbalance. The angel is Sienna.
She seems like more than an angel, sir.
Oh, sure.
But I get the comparisons.
Hey, she's the angel of my morning, baby. Okay, so. No, I'm referencing It, the other clown movie.
Oh.
Remember when It 2 just played that song for no freaking reason for 12 seconds and then it just moved on like it didn't happen?
I don't.
It was weird.
I think I need to watch It 2 again. I don't remember anything in chapter 2 for some reason.
What?
Well, it's 3.5 hours long and not much happens is what I mostly remember from it. But I mean, that's me. There's a lot of really good stuff in it. We're just going to completely sidetrack us here. But the fact that they spent so much time giving each character an individual story in that movie is why I don't think it worked that well. Because it just made it bloated and unnecessary. And anyway, It Chapter 2,
Maybe that's why I don't remember it. That's kind of the only memory I have is it's not as good as the first.
Yeah, it's certainly not worth that long ass runtime, that's for certain.
I think that's like the universal thing with it, though, isn't it? The kid stuff is just always better. The original like TV stuff, it was better. Isn't it better in the books too? I know it's more interwoven in the books as opposed to like two separate stories.
Gray, can you look up the runtime of Terrifier 2? Because if I think correctly, they scaled down 3. And I would say that a movie like Terrifier 2, I thought was kind of long, but in hindsight, I guess I'm all right with it. Because Terrifier 3, at times, it felt like it could have been 20 minutes shorter. And, you know, they overlap things. And the first 10 minutes, I feel like probably could have been not
So
there.
Cody just beat me to it. 2 is 2 hours, 19 minutes. 3 is 2 hours, 5 minutes.
That's wild.
It looks like they cut off like 15 minutes.
That's wild because I feel backwards. I feel like 3 should be 15 minutes shorter. And as much as I thought 2 was long, I don't think that now, which is weird.
This is fascinating. Is this accurate? Like the third act is super long.
That seems mathematically broken.
Yet it somehow works. You know, people like Charles like 2 more, but fair enough.
Hey, the movie made enough money to get a sequel.
I do, because it's a bit of everything. And some of the things that they introduced just are random. But in that part 2, I feel like it's, as far as like a story and things are concerned, there's more to it. Like actually showing us the shit that Sienna was weirded out by, and like her nightmare sequence and things. I just appreciate it more. And I don't know.
Fair enough.
I can tell that there's certain, you know, subtext and commentary in this, and I'm with it, but at the same time, I feel like if you're going to start doing things where, like, you have these parallels to how much we lie to children around the Christmas time, and have other elements of that, flesh out the story a bit more, please. So 2 to me, it is just a better all-around thing than 3. Because 3's, listen, art, awesome. The FX, legendary. Sienna, I get another film where she's showing off all these emotions, and the script is not good enough for the performance she's putting in. And that's not anything against the film itself. She has a lot of range, but not much to bounce it off of.
That's interesting. I did like her a lot. I want to see her in more stuff. I'd love to see her like.
I would say she's better in 2. Do not watch The Well, although if you want to see a good performer in a bad movie,
perhaps half of The Well.
Which half? The first or the second half?
Yes.
Or skip the beginning and the end and just watch the middle.
It's a movie that if you don't watch the gore parts, you're like, oh, this thing just needs a little bit more, but not what they did.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I kind of agree with this. Like the third act starts very abruptly for me in Terrifier 3, I guess. Kind of way. So it's like, oh, I'm going to go pick up Jonathan, and then those 2 characters are just dead, and we never see them again. And it's
that's something that's an issue for me.
Yeah, like, I'm agreeing with it. There should have been more buildup, or I feel like, but there should have been at least one more scene. I don't know. What are you saying, Gary? Sorry.
How do you not reveal that though? Like it is trying to be like a prank on both her and us, because you know you wouldn't expect that this character would unceremoniously not be returning. I don't know. Like that kind of works for me. I don't know that part needed more pacing, but yeah, it does feel like they were definitely cutting a lot more, trimming the fat on this one, if you will, where a couple of the scenes in 2 seem to play a little bit longer, but it kind of gives you that
I felt
it has way more room to breathe, and it makes that creepy factor come out a little bit more. This one I wasn't so creeped out about. Like the laundromat scene was creepy as hell.
Yeah, I feel like in 2, that was like to make you uneasy. It worked on some sort of head fuckery, whereas the third one, I don't know what's the happy medium, because it is 20 minutes shorter, but it does feel a bit crammed, certainly in the end. And if you're going to have things where like he's fooling people to do things, or they're fooling, like when the uncle goes to pick up the kid, what was that exchange for when he goes to the dorm?
Ooh.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Perhaps we're gonna see. As Cody points out, Damien has already teased that there's going to be a director's cut. So, we'll get a Leone cut of it. That'll be fun.
Oh, I want that Leone cut. I want it. I want it injected right into my eyeballs. Off-screen deaths are just unsatisfying unless you really earn it. And I think few stories can pull that off. I agree, little bro.
The problem is the death that we have in 3. We don't exactly know that is the owner of those glasses. We don't know that.
That's true. It's just implied, or I mean, not implied. I guess it's
suggested.
It's pretty heavily suggested. But technically, yeah, that could
those
be
are common glasses.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I don't know. I don't know. You guys looking at blue light glasses? I've been trying these out this week. I don't know if I'm ready to do them on stream yet, but they kind of look like his glasses, right? I just hate the reflective lights in the glass. I guess I'll get used to it, but
I've tried my best with these, but they're, as long as I have my bill over my eyes, I should be.
You genius bastard! Yes. Okay, so I need to get a hat. Okay, I'm Charles 2.0, guys.
Bring the visor back. Come on.
But
you could make it work.
Long story short, if it tried less to do like lore and things and just leaned more into just random chaos, I would appreciate it more. But it feels like when it's trying to do story stuff and not really paying it off, or like sloppily doing so, it's like one or the other. You're not doing both very well. Lindsay over here discovering the struggles of wearing glasses. Welcome to hell, says.
Yeah,
Bex.
sorry. I need to be better at actually reading these and not just clicking them to let people see them. I'm learning as I go, guys. I'm an improver here. And this is actually a good point too. They made a point of the brother took off his glasses before going to bed. That's a really good point.
Keep in mind.
Go ahead.
Art the Clown has an affinity for glasses, so would he mistake glasses, or would he know the correct ones?
Is that a thing?
I don't know.
Is it Art a big glasses guy?
You might need to watch 2. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't. There's moments where Art like gets wowed by Santa and like seems genuinely like cheery and hopped up about being a kid, and then like freaks out Santa when he pees in place. I loved his reaction to drinking alcohol too. That is such a childish thing to do. Like it was so adorable.
Did he like scrape his tongue too, or something like that? Like it was incredible.
Yeah. So in that moment, I'm like, oh, does he have some sort of like innocence about him with Santa? And they veer away from that, where it's just like, wait, is he offended that Santa bought him a beer? Like what caused that rift? Because he was so like a kid, and I thought like
they ever had an interaction that didn't end in that way.
Yeah, but he didn't lean into the innocence
in this movie
and the joy.
Sorry.
No.
Well, he gave a bunch of presents to a bunch of kids, and like, yeah, he killed a bunch of kids too. But like, none of those kids survived.
I was gonna say, did you watch the end of that scene?
Like, at least 40% of the kids that went up to get presents didn't die horribly. Like, 60-40 isn't a great ratio, but it's not nothing. And some people had a genuinely good interaction with them. That's all I'm saying. Like, those 2 girls that he blew past on the stairs, they're perfectly fine.
Lindsay, they didn't get killed. You can't win them all. You're right.
Okay, you got me, man. You're right.
But it's another thing where I kind of liked that, but it just didn't go in a direction that they kind of alluded to, where it was, ooh, here's something that Art is different. Nope, never mind. He's just going to be Chaos
creeper.
incarnate again. Yeah.
Dice, that's the German balance of Christmas. Some kids get presents, some kids get murdered.
What's the German
You
word
gotta be
for it?
good.
Krampus people. Krampus. Is Art really Krampus? Is this a sequel prequel to 2016's Krampus, a movie I absolutely adore? Or was that 16 or was that 17?
16, I think. Why don't we have a Krampus 2? We have all those bootleg shitty Krampuses.
Yeah, right.
Oh, fuck. That was a great movie. The guy did Trick or Treat too.
It was.
Oh, was that?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That totally feels like that. Now that you mention it, it's like, oh, I could see that.
One of my favorite opening montages of a movie ever, when they're like opening the doors on Black Friday and everyone's just going nuts in the store and just destroying everything and climbing all over Santa.
To ironic music. Yes.
So ironic.
If only someone did it a little less classy and then put it in a Thanksgiving movie.
Hey, if you put Tim Dillon as a security guard, I'm there. Like, let's do this.
I'm sorry. Lindsay, did you give your score for Terrifier 3?
3.25 bloody clowns out of 5.
I guess I'm really hard on it. Yeah, I do have the same score as Brian, so I don't know what the fuck that means.
I think part of it is just because, again, I only saw this in the vacuum, so I went in just being like, what is happening? I don't understand, but I'm enjoying it. This is brutal. This is horrible. I feel like I need to take a shower, but I'm smiling. I'm laughing. I want to see more scenes of horrible murder.
I think it's wild that you went into this sort of dark and had fun to the level you did.
Well, again, those first like 10, 15 minutes is a roller coaster of what, okay, is this the story? No. Is this the story? No. Is this the story? No. Is this the story? But I still enjoy it.
It sets a tone.
It does set a tone. You're very right on that.
And I mean, I'm glad that Chris Jericho is getting some more on-screen time as, you know, the greatest security guard dressed as a doctor, but has a little security patch on there. It's great.
I can't believe I missed that he was a security guard. I just assumed he was a doctor.
Well, I mean, he is wearing a lab coat, but it says security right under the pocket.
100%. What's that movie where someone's just like that looks like they're chained up, but if you actually pay, they're just holding a chain. They're not actually handcuffed. They're literally just holding a chain. Like, it's a really big movie too. I was trying to remember the other day. I couldn't remember what movie it was, but anyway.
I'm blanking on that.
Is it the Django Unchained?
I mean, that
turns
would
out
be
he was never
ironic,
chained.
It's
Django never chained.
You know, I'm of like two minds on this one. If I'm going to rank it out of Terrifier films, I think there's a little bit more that they could go. So it's not quite a 5 to me. It would probably be like 4 out of 5.
Holy
It's
smokes.
out of Terrifier films. If I'm just ranking the 4 and a short that are out there in the Terrifier world,
I agree.
it's got room to grow.
Right.
I want that little bit more that I think they're going to give us in 4. But if I'm going to rank it out of every other film, I don't think I'm far from where Lindsay is. I don't know. I enjoyed myself, so I'm wanting to put it as a 3.5. But if I'm looking at the other ones that I put in that, I don't know if it's quite on par in every aspect. So I'm going to go 3.25, I guess. So
Yeah, that's exactly what I did.
copying Lindsay. Yeah.
3.25 club. Let's go.
It's a really fun film. If you're into that thing, like I don't think you could ask for too much more as far as the splatter, but I want the lore to go a little bit deeper. I want to know what's going to happen ultimately with the story. And I think we're going to get that in the next one, but maybe he'll stretch it out. He gave that fun answer of, I know where this is going to end, and we'll see if the next one gets us there. So, you know, there could be infinite ones, so we'll see.
That's fun. That's fun. I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Should I even watch 1 or 2, or should I just wait for 4 and just like never watch 1 or 2? I just see 3.
I would watch 1 and 2. You
I
need to know the origin of one of the characters in this. It's pivotal. And then 2 is its own kind of fun thing that is interesting, but in a more creepy way. I think you'll enjoy yourself, but this is by far kind of the pinnacle of all of those other ones.
Lindsay, I do not like the first one.
Oh, fun. Okay.
all right with the second one.
But it's
so,
the intro to the character. You need to know the character.
so if you're giving this a 3.25,
Yeah, get it right. 3.25, not a 3 out of 5, not a 3.5.
it's interesting.
Mhm.
I don't know where you would put 2. It's
A
You know what?
2.25.
The more I think about this, I'm going 3.5. It deserves that extra 0.5, and I don't want to agree with Lindsay. So there, twofold, it's 3.5 for me.
get
I am the
fucked.
worst person that's ever lived. You should never agree with me on anything. Here, just like Cody, I gave 2 and 3 both a 4 out of 5. And I really don't care much for the first one either, and I really like 2 or 3. The original is more of a proof of concept than a movie to me. That's interesting. Does that resonate with you guys as well? Does that feel accurate?
See, I don't know.
Yeah, it's David Howard Thornton's debut though. There's something really special about his performance versus the previous actor, who I guess didn't want to be an actor. So there's something special about it to me. But yeah, it's not on par with the next two. The next two
How
take
was
it up.
The first guy, just out of curiosity, was he good? Was he passable? Was he
good.
a weak point in the movie?
He's not quite as kind of personable. Like when you see the clown doing like the mimery, like there's something, I don't know, almost charming about it. He's not bad by any means, but I think David just brings a little bit something else to it.
Okay.
He just says that je ne sais quoi.
No, I in anime, because we talked about anime that one time. We talked about all the different actors that have played Frieza, and it's like each one brings something completely different to the table. So it's kind of hard for me to nail down a favorite Frieza, but there is one that's a little weaker. But anyway, getting off topic here. But it's interesting when you have different characters playing the different actors playing the same character. And Charles is over here being like, "What's an anime?"
Cartoons. I know cartoons.
He's familiar with Perfect Blue. It's perfect.
That's true. He's a Frieza. There's a character who's a freezer. Is his brother a cooler? That's a joke for 1% of our audience maybe watching this right now.
Yeah, I think a better way of saying what I was trying to get, Cody says the original art was more stoic, where David brings more personality and humor to him. So I would totally agree. It's those little like charming bits that it's creepy how fun he's able to be in a moment of horror, where you don't quite get that from the original one. It's just creepy.
What? Just out of curiosity. So when you say stoic, is he like stiff? Is he not comfortable on camera, or is it like?
I mean, he doesn't
a decision
talk.
for the character. Like, you know what I mean?
The first one's not quite as fun. He's not doing as much of that, like, kind of mocking them, like doing the clown things where you're, like resting your head on your hands or whatever, doing the head thing. The classic mime moves. He's got a little of them, but it just doesn't have the fun.
Gotcha. Also, at
Still
least
very creepy
Adam
Buskirk
and Big Rod in the chat. My boys getting my weird ass references. Love you guys. Sounds like he's playing it way too seriously. Would you say that's accurate? Of the first one, the original Art the Clown.
It's hard to
I
say
don't think like it created this iconic character, and it leads to this one image that's in. I'm not trying to give anything away. I'm trying to keep it kind of a mystery for you, but there's this amazing image that definitely comes from that first actor. And I do believe they use it for the cover of Terrifier 1, but man, it is gorgeous. I think he still created an iconic character, but so much more was added to it when David took the role over.
It's kind of like people like Jason Voorhees breathing heavily in the last couple of Jasons. I don't like that, but that's a lot of people are all about Kane Hodder. I'm not. So like, he's done something different with that character that people are enamored with, and unlike Friday the 13th, I'm inverse. I really dig what's going on with Art the Clown now. And again, it's just me being a grouch. If I were 15, 20 years younger, I'd really, really be fired up about this. I'm just jealous at this point where it's just like, oh man, I'm
It is interesting, like how like another horror thing. I don't really think we have this in other genres, but like the battle between this actor playing the killer versus this actor playing the killer. Like I'm trying to think of like another franchise that has that. Like Harry. The first one that comes to mind is Harry Potter, and like people will prefer this Dumbledore or that Dumbledore, but they're also just like but it's very different. I'm trying to think. Is there a better one-to-one? Do either of you guys have anything like?
How awesome is it that the Gen Z horror star is someone who does not talk? Fuck you, TikTok generation.
Yeah,
pretty cool actually.
Doesn't talk, doesn't vlog. He doesn't do fucking. Oh, all right, I'm enough.
Yeah. I'm at kind of.
Welcome to the club, my friend.
I'm not able to come up with a reference off the top of my head. The closest that I'm thinking is like Freddy Krueger. Like they tried to reboot that, and it's just not the same. Not having Robert Englund there.
Yeah,
but
yeah, because what's his name?
It's not like
he just wasn't Robert Englund. Yeah,
different.
Jackie Earle Haley. I love Jackie Earle Haley. But
yeah, thank you. I couldn't think of Jackie Earle Haley's name either. But I think it's a little bit more like Jason in that you prefer kind of your flavor of it. The character, it's a mantle that somebody else is taking up, and it's kind of their take on it. I dig it. Maybe it'd be more akin to like Michael Myers. Like he's really changed throughout the Halloween series, depending on
all day. Over
maybe it's more like that because they really are changing a bit of the personality, like how fun he is, but it's still the same character. He's still super violent, and it's gore to the max in a great way. It's just way more low budget before.
And also, objectively speaking, the best Michael Myers is the one that looks like Nicolas Cage. So there's no real need to have an actual debate over this. I just break your brain, Charles. I'm sorry, buddy.
Which one?
Oh, was it like 5 or 4? Like the cover of the cover art for the movie, it looks like he's wearing a Nicolas Cage mask. It's amazing. Look it up. You know what I'm talking about, Gray? Am I crazy?
With masks in that series. I think I know the one that you're talking about. I have Sean is saying Halloween 5, so I believe that's the one. I like to forget that one. Even though we have some great actors in it, not my favorite one, but fair enough.
Well, everything after 3 is kind of iffy for a while, and 3 is only good because my daddy's in it.
3 is amazing. The music in there.
The music.
Cody brought it up the other day, but man, I love that music. 3 is awesome.
And somehow we're talking about Halloween. Not even
Yay.
supposed to be here today.
It's spooky season. Sorry, that was my fault. I sent us down a weird path because we were talking about like the difference between the actors changing it. I think we just get to know the character more, and I think we're getting more of the fun side of art now, which is something that everybody wanted.
Yeah.
So
watch Terrifier 4. Art's very serious. Like he's kind of crying the whole time, but then like something makes him feel better at the end, and he starts getting all funny again. Like give Art like a little character arc. That'd be amazing.
spooky season continues this week. Smile 2 comes out this weekend. Something that I would like to make a segment or reintroduce it with some bumpers on it is the guessing game, but I think we're going to call it over or under. And
yeah,
I've been losing that game.
We all do. I forgot to send you the image, Lindsay, but I had a tweet out last week, and 88% of the votes on the X poll were voting that Joker Folie à Deux would not come into first place, and they were right.
It's a very safe bet after last weekend.
Well, we didn't know that like back then.
Did anyone think it was gonna like magically rocket up after all of this very positive publicity?
But
I think we all assumed it at least pull 10 million, right?
Right. So if it when we first discussed this, the estimate was 40 million. You cut that in half, that's 20 million. If it did that, it would be in first.
But
like the drop between Friday and Sunday was just so big. Like you're the one who pointed that out to me, and it's like, really, this is not looking good. To the point where I was basically telling people like, hey, if you want to see it in theaters, get to it this weekend because I don't know if it's going to be there next weekend. It's a huge drop off. I didn't expect 90% or 81%. 81 to 87 is the
You can
report
call it
that I've seen.
75 and be generous, and that's
Yeah,
still
that is
extreme.
huge.
Legendarily bad.
Yeah, it's not going to be in the top 5 this week. For this weekend, I don't think between 2 spooky season movies and the robot movie that just
Won't
it's
die.
going down gradually. I don't think Folie à Deux will be in the top 5. But as far as Smile 2, 20 million, over or under?
Ooh, that's a good. That's a really good one. So let's see. We would still have the other ones up. Beetlejuice would probably drop.
That's available on
So-
home Video right now.
Yeah. Do we know the budget of Smile? I know it was more successful than.
Fucking Lindsay Part 2 over here.
I'm sorry.
What is the
I
budget
was just trying to
for this
wonder
week?
because I've seen nothing about like marketing for this. I've seen the one commercial and that's it. And then I don't hear a lot about screenings of it. I
I'm
don't know
going
that it's going to
15 million.
bode well. We're
Tuesday.
So it is-
Tuesday. They are screening it for audiences.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're
I just
screening.
hadn't heard any buzz on this. We're like, I heard a ton of buzz on Terrifier 3. Like, I heard that was going to be a big thing. We're still going up against Smile 2 with Terrifier. So I think it's going to be under 20, but I don't know. It's not going to be much under. I think I'd go like the 17 range is my guess.
So first and second place are going to be horror movies. That's pretty cool.
Probably.
I kind of think so, man. We're spooky season. Come on.
It is spooky season. And I have been seeing reports that the Smiling people are back in New York. Have you heard anything about that, Charles? Like, it was when Smile 1 came out, they did kind of a publicity thing where just random people like just standing around smiling at people that went super viral.
I'll be in the city. I'll be in the city for a screener, so I'm
nice.
Put my head on a swivel there. Okay. All right. I'll be on the lookout.
Please do.
I'm hoping for the best. That film's the first one surprised the hell out of me, and I just
so good.
I really want something positive from the second one. It looks like Charles is a big fan. Good times. But yeah, I just getting more and more worried as this is going on, and I'm just not hearing any news at all. And we're like a week out now, or less than a week out. So
I wonder if
I'll
is
be there,
really
but,
good and they're just confident in it, or if they're nervous about it. There's got to be one of the two, right?
Dude, it's
looks
a
like-
weird time because I only saw a commercial for the first time. Venom is coming out on the 25th.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They're kind of getting rid of those properties from what I understand. So I don't know. I think it's going to be more successful than like the Madam Web types, but yeah. I mean, we're getting up in the numbers for Venom.
Venom 1 and 2 are popular. I think Venom 2 is a little divisive, but they're still popular and they're made money. So I have a feeling Venom 3 will make money. But but then they got Kraven the Hunter. Is that this year or next year? I forgot.
I think it got pushed back. I think it's next year now, but I'm not 100% positive on that. I kind of stopped looking for Kraven news.
Lindsay, my fault. Over or under 20?
Oh,
Smile.
For Smile 2?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly 20.
He
that
refuses
over then?
to do option A or B.
No,
He
to
chooses his
the
own
penny.
path.
20 million dead even.
Okay, so that's over then. It's not less than 20.
Okay, 19.999.
9999999. I'm going to be
Ray, you're
opposite, damn it.
Lindsay's going over, Ray's going
sure.
under.
What you doing, Charles? You're the one who's had time to think about it. You possibly put a poll out there to the world.
I think
You
I'm going
have-
under. I haven't put the
Ooh.
Smile 2 poll out yet, but I think I'm going under.
Well,
I think it has
Logan in the
competition.
chat is saying he's hearing nothing but good things about 2, which is awesome. Maybe I just haven't been hearing the news. So if that's good, I mean, that makes me feel great. I'm hoping that's the case. I do want this one to be awesome, but
Yeah.
in my side of the internet, I'm not hearing much about it at all is the
and that-
problem.
that's a testament to why I say under, because you talked about Terrifier 3 being a big deal. And I agree with you. I've heard a lot. Like, I think we're horror brained about that. A big deal is 18 million, and Smile 2 is making no noise, or not a lot of noise. So if Terrifier 2 is making noise and only gets 18, Smile 2 with little noise is going to do 20. Fooled you, Lindsay.
I hope
fine,
I prove
I'm
you wrong.
locked-
though.
you're locked
I
in.
want
Alright,
a new
cool.
franchise.
Just rub the salt in the wound of me being wrong. Why don't you? All right.
Hey,
Dang.
speaking of that, good scenes. Rubbing the salt in the wound, just
Yeah.
it brings back memories.
I do like
Yeah.
the lead in Smile 2, by the way. Naomi Scott. She was the Pink Power Ranger in that reboot that was actually surprisingly good, but also kind of boring.
She's no Kimberly Jo
So-
Johnson, but fair enough. I'll give you that.
Oh, definitely not. But it's like, if you have to, if we have to have a Kimberly and it's not her, I'll take her. If you know what I mean. But she was also in Aladdin, and I hated that movie so much. It wasn't her
Aladdin?
fault, but I hated that movie so much.
I'm trying to think. Are we? Is this it for like pseudo big horror things? Because I don't count Venom as horror. Sorry.
I'm seriously sure this could be a Venom frog this time. It's very scary.
There's the one that Cody said like it was his favorite of Fantastic Fest, which opens like the first week of November. It's Heretic.
Oh,
that,
yeah.
Grant one. It's horror, but it looks like it's more like a suspense kind of thrillery horror as
That's
opposed to
weird.
like monsters.
That's a really weird date to release it.
It is.
Yeah.
I think it's like November 3rd or something. So yeah.
They clearly don't want to go in before Venom because they're scared of Smile 2. They don't want to go in against Venom, so they have to come in after Venom.
And I think Nosferatu is like December or something like that. I'm thinking it's around like awards time, but
Yep.
ooh, Cody's saying that he's seen highly positive reactions for Smile 2. So that's awesome. I feel like I heard way more about Smile 1 at this point, and it got
agree.
some buzz going, and I was excited to see it. But maybe it's just me and my side of the internet.
I wonder if they are
Nosferatu's
just really
Christmas.
confident in it, and they or like maybe they have no confidence in it, and so they don't think it's going to do well, but people end up like I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Heretic is November 8th. Nosferatu is December
Was it the
25th.
8th? Yeah. So, I mean, those are the kind of big ones that I know of after that.
It's just
There's some
weird
kind of
to do
smaller ones that just came out. Cody teased a bunch of them with his Fantastic Fest coverage. But yeah, there's some kind of fun ones out there that Daddy's Head, Mr. Crockett.
that. Crockett's on Hulu right now.
Yeah, I just caught that. It's pretty fun. It is what they promise.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. Then I do want to see that.
Yeah, I happen to check out that one, Daddy's Head, and now I'm forgetting the other one. Oh, VHS Beyond. Kind of all based on those recommendations. And man, I gotta say, they're all decent. There's none of them that I saw this week that I really hated. But
I should really watch
keep
the
in mind-
VHS movies already because I adore Sinister. I love that movie so freaking much, and everyone says, "Oh, you must watch VHS if you like that." Then, so I gotta get on that.
Keep in mind what you wish for the coffee table and Strange Darling were last year's Fantastic Fest movies. So
mhm,
good shit shows up over there.
Cool. Okay.
it does.
Well, it's fantastic, right?
It's a festival of fantasticness. Fantasticasm. Yeah, good talk.
Any other news this week or anything going on that we left out? Anybody got something cool coming up that they want to drop real quick?
I thought there was a piece of news that I really didn't have.
Ooh. Do we have a
shit.
date for the spoiler strain? The Strange Darling spoiler stream? That's a good question.
Oh, that's a good
we gotta get
question.
that in.
Well, I think we are doing like a partial version of that this Thursday morning on the Thinkers channel on That Darn Kidda's channel. A lot of the people that we happen to stream with on that channel, they happen to watch the film. So I guess we're doing a discussion on that and kind of what makes a film artsy. So there's like a kind of version of that. But yeah, I think Charles has been teasing this for a while. We need Lindsay's perspective on what Strange Darling is. You need to spoil it, sir.
Well, I mean, I saw it twice, so like, I mean, I am carrying the back of this movie's financial future, personally. I don't know what you guys are doing. Like,
Cody, The Apprentice, the estimate for the weekend so far is 10th place with 1.58 million. It's only on 1,700 screens. So, I don't know, from what I understand,
a lot per screen, though, right? Because it's a pretty limited opening.
Close to 1,000 per screen.
Hmm.
Yeah, over
It cost
$900.
16 million to make too. Ooh. So that's
Well,
not
they're
going to make its money back.
They're trying to hinder it too, because election year. Apparently, he's not in favor of the movie, so
Yeah.
yeah. Although
I do think Sebastian Stan looks amazing in the trailer. Like I kind of want to see it just for.
I'm really intrigued at Sebastian Stan playing Donald Trump. Like what? And what's his face from Succession is in it too.
Oh,
yeah.
Really good cast.
Name's gone.
He's been doing some really interesting films, like that A Different Man. I also caught that, I think, last week. Man, he's doing some really kind of trying films that he's reaching a little bit further than he usually does. But I don't know. It doesn't seem like either of them are necessarily huge financial successes. So maybe he's going for more recognition for it. But
is he really calling it election interference? Yeah, and Dice said it.
October surprise?
I think people are tired. Like, I know I am. I still have at least, 3 weeks to see this fucking guy's face? I don't want to see a fictional version of him. That's for sure.
Well, you might have to see it a bunch more after that. You never know.
Trump is the devil for 2 hours.
Is Scarface or Trump? That's an interesting descriptor.
Trump is the devil all day, maybe 2 hours.
Sorry, Brendan Gleeson.
Donald Gleeson. Brendan Gleeson.
Brendan Gleeson did an Orange Cheetah impression. That makes sense. I was wondering, like, makes sense.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to.
Now you're good.
Look at what the news was. Universal and Matt Damon are slated to be a part of the Christopher Nolan film, which is coming out in 2026.
Oh, yeah. He's shopping it around, right? Because he's done with Warner Brothers?
He's kind of a Universal bitch right now. So Universal and Matt Damon in talks to star in Universal-funded film.
Okay.
Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone opens in second place in China.
Wait, when? What?
This weekend.
Oh,
nice.
Had they never seen it before?
I don't know. It's a headline, and
I mean, there's a generation that hasn't. Come on. Now that's their chance.
iRobot director accuses Elon Musk of taking his ideas for new Tesla robot, van, and more.
Yeah, I've kind of heard that comparison a bunch of times. So
that was pretty great.
Yeah, you should have put those backwards knees on it, like the fun dancing animal robots have.
Right? That whole thing is so funny to me too, because like those are obviously like remote controlled robots. Like there's no way those are actually as autonomous as they're being presented. That's just me though.
It's a robot at the controls of the robot. Just think about it.
That'd be impressive.
Ready or Not sequel.
With what's her face? Yeah. And the original directors too, right?
Yeah, they did Abigail.
Yeah, no, super down. I
love Radio Silence. Going by Radio Silence.
Yeah.
Or
I don't know. The artist formerly known as Prince.
I don't know where you'd kind of go with that story to do a sequel. I hope there's something that they can add to that would kind of work, but it feels like a contained story to me. But maybe I'm wrong.
I 100% agree, but Samara Weaving in that role was incredible, and Radio Silence.
Put her in almost anything, and I'll watch it.
So I'm so down. Like even if it's like a mediocre movie, I still want to see it because I just want to see what these guys are doing right now. Like,
fair enough. Yeah, I dug the opening to whatever Scream that was. You know that definitely gave me. Yeah, thank you. I keep forgetting. 6 and
She
5
had her-
really kind of blend for me.
She had her old accent back in that too.
Yeah, it was kind of nice. So I don't know. I want to see them work together, but maybe they can come up with a different story. It doesn't have to be a sequel. I don't know.
Are we excited for Scream 7 at all, or
No.
the two? Yeah, right. It's
Next question.
No, it's how I'm kind of on the same page with you. Melissa Barrera was literally my favorite part of the last two movies. Like Wednesday Addams was great too. Don't get me wrong, but Melissa kind of stole those movies for me. And so the fact that they kicked her out for that, and we're just gonna continue on without her is kind of shitty to me.
I'm sorry, and the other one has a bit of a following, so I think on principle alone,
Jenna
a lot of
Ortega.
people- yes, a lot of people
The other
are
one.
just gonna kind of do that thing that people on the internet do and just show solidarity by not going to see a thing because
Yeah.
what does the quality matter? It's just I like this person. I'm standing by them and doing.
I mean, I get it. I'm a jerk. Like I'm here to like kind of crap on points or whatever. But
That's why I like it.
the first ones. You had Nev Campbell. There's other like hot actresses, hot at the time. I mean, like Red Hot, whatever you want to call that. Like, she's coming off Party of Five. Like, there's interest in her name alone. Like the fact that you put her in it, it's gonna be interesting.
What has Nev Campbell done that isn't called Scream in the last?
Well, at the time, she had done Party of Five, and everyone was trying to get those kids in a bunch of things. Like, do you remember the whole like, I Know What You Did Last Summer? Like, they're like, okay, anybody else from this? Let's put them in something. I can't remember which one Scott Wolf got thrown into as well, but they were trying to throw those kids in like everything. So there's kind of a history of doing that. We had Drew Barrymore in that first one.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I'm of two minds on this because I like where they were going with those two characters. I kind of want to see what's going to happen with them. I guess we're not going to get that anymore. But man, I was so over the core four. I'm kind of glad that the core four isn't coming back. But I missed.
Oh, you didn't like the core four? I love the core four.
I hated the core four so much. It's like how much plot armor can you give them? But that's just me.
Preach! Holy shit!
I do agree with that. What's his face definitely should have died. The sheer number of times he got stabbed, that was a little absurd.
I think to counteract your negative Jenna Ortega business, I don't know if they've shot anything yet.
I'm not negative on Jenna Ortega. I just couldn't remember her name in the moment.
No, I'm talking about the people who are making Scream 7.
Oh, okay.
Somehow see if you can get Sydney Sweeney to do it, and then get that counterbalance.
Counterculture.
I can think of a couple good reasons to cast her.
At least two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm thinking there's more, but
Well, at least two. So
she was great in Morbius.
that's one of them.
Yeah.
she was in Morbius.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking Madam Web, but I'll go with it. Sure.
That's what I meant.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah,
Morbius, Madam Web, bad superhero
thing.
movie.
It's a mean movie.
Tomato, potato. But yeah, I don't know. I think they're taking that franchise for granted with Scream 7, and they're discounting Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega just a bit, I would think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because Abigail did very well.
Yeah.
She was very good in that movie.
And Jenna Ortega is still making money in Beetlejuice for a movie that you can watch at home.
And people are screaming for Wednesday season 2, which is finally happening next year. So
there's going to be a new dance. It'll be great.
Okay, so I finally watched Wednesday when I was here with my mom, just because we wanted to watch something one night. And she's like, "You haven't seen this yet?" So when we got to the dance scene, and it wasn't to Bloody Mary by Lady Gaga, it was like one of those moments where like the meme had become like the movie and the show in my head. It was so distracting. I was like, "How many dances is she gonna do in this episode?" So there's this dance, and then is she gonna do another dance after this? Sorry, that's my Wednesday. Year and a half late to the party story.
Or early for the second season. Either way, it's in between timings.
That's true.
There's a statistic that claims that YouTube is more beneficial for promoting movies than television.
I guess, yeah.
I wouldn't doubt it. I usually do not watch the commercials when it's on television. It's like, hey, that's my chance to do something else. I'm like sitting by the commercial, just waiting for the skip button. Usually, on I at least pay attention to those first like 5 seconds, really hardcore.
I have to watch 5 seconds at least.
Also, oh wait, I had a joke. Come back.
Oh, wow.
Joke. I need my joke net so I can catch. Okay, sorry. That
We've lost it.
completely. We've lost the subject here. Charles, you got anything coming up on your channel? More 31 for 31, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah. As of
One more
as of,
flick.
as of Tuesday, I'll have as of Tuesday night at least, I'll have seen Smile 2. Should be meeting up with Celise, Rocco, and at least someone else of Sweet and Spooky, and I'll try to be an unsocial prick.
100% airback.
Yeah, I always forget to do like content when I'm with YouTubers, but I'll try to remember, especially if there's the smiling people in the city. But yeah, I'll try to document our trip. But other than that, I'm going deep into the hole after that to work on the festival, where I agree with Brian on something.
Oh.
I'm glad that
look on
Joker
your
2.
face.
was
You're so
on.
happy you agree with Brian.
I don't feel well.
Mr. Stark, I don't feel right. He just disappeared in a cloud of ash.
I only do flavored Coke reviews with you, Cody.
What about you, Gray? Well, what you got going on, buddy? Buddy old pal, okay?
Good question. So a couple people have asked me to kind of fully flesh out my kind of analysis or take on Joker 2. So I've been working on something like that. So yeah, I do have a video coming to my channel eventually. So yeah, stay tuned for that. It should be in the next couple days. And then yeah, I think a lot of the criticism of it's a little bit overblown, and I don't think it's necessarily accurate. Perhaps it's just the way that I'm looking at it. So yeah, I'm going to try and flesh that out. But if you still can't get enough of me and Charles and, sometimes Lindsay, make sure and come over to That Darn Kidda's channel. That's YouTube at That Darn Kidda every Thursday for thinkers who are doing a think. It's people from like 3 different continents getting together, disagreeing about everything. This time, as kind of previously mentioned, we're disagreeing about what is an artsy flick. And some people have considered Strange Darling to be an artsy flick. So we're probably having a little mini discussion on Strange Darling and then kind of going from there to think on what makes a film artsy. So if that sounds fun with you, to you, you might want to check that out. It's Thursday morning on That Darn Kidda's channel.
I'm kind
That's
of
about all I got going on.
Apologies. I'm kind of throwing this on you, but maybe tomorrow might be the best day to do Strange Darling, for me at least.
Oh,
prior to Halloween. If we do it prior to Halloween, tomorrow is probably the best day for me for Strange Darling.
Oh, like we do the spoiler stream tomorrow night.
Right. Otherwise, I don't know if I'll have the room in my ridiculously tiny brain to.
Possibly, I have to let you know tomorrow.
I didn't expect to think about it so shortly, and yeah, as I won't be free Tuesday, and then after that I'll be probably 31 brain.
Could we go, or if we did do it tomorrow, could we go earlier than we normally do?
Sure.
Okay.
Cray?
Yes, I have a slightly prior engagement, but I can get out of that pretty quickly. So yes,
we can talk about this.
We will chat.
Apologies.
Deal.
Also,
But
I know I say it every week, Ray, but I look forward to your That Darn Kidda plug every week. Like you I don't know if you practice that in front of the mirror or what, man, but like it's like you nail that shit, bro.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. No practice. Just kind of like, what the hell are we talking about? Okay, and this. Yeah, good times. But what do you have going on your side of the internet, Lindsay? I know you just had this amazing stream where you went through the horror aspects of Star Trek. People should check that out if they didn't have a chance to yet. But what comes in the future for Lindsay?
Great, my friend. Yeah, that's 100% accurate. It was super fun doing a tier list of all the spooky Star Treks. Definitely check that out. I put out a dorky review of Terrifier today. Check that out as well. And theoretically, going forward, there should be daily uploads on my channel. A lot of them will be shorts. So if you're not a shorts person, I apologize, but I don't know how long I'm going to be able to keep that up for, but I think that's going to be a thing going on for at least a good while on my channel. So if you just want to see, just pop in and see what stupid thing I'm doing each day. Just pop in and see what stupid thing I'm doing each day. It's going to be a good time. I'm excited.
Hit the bell.
Hit that bell.
Like, subscribe, all that jazz.
The thing from Gray's video. Yeah, hit the bell.
And next time we do the I deem today necessary, take a look at the emoji on Tuesday. He's having a rough go of it.
I actually am going to go back and look at that when we wrap up here. I'm very curious.
All right, so we'll see you soon.
Yeah. No. Yeah, thanks. I hope you guys are good. This was a great show. Take care.
Slow wave.
Oh, wait, crap. I have to hit it the second time. God damn it.